200 episodes. Can you believe that we've made it to 200 episodes? That's so freaking many episodes. That's 200.
It's a lot.
That's at least
People don't live to that age.
That's going
100 plus 100.
That's going to 100 and then doing 100 more.
Do you
Yeah.
remember how long it took you to count to 100 in kindergarten? when
Oh, a
they had
long
you do it?
time.
So
Long
double
time.
that.
I know.
That's how much.
I think I was in like 6th grade before I could do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
6th grade.
I told you I was.
I believe by that time you've already done a lot of your multiplication tables too.
I was humiliated. I'm telling you. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining the show. This is podcast number 200. We've made it to 200. Can we get some celebration music?
Celebration.
For 200. Or something. Pump me up, baby.
pump up stuff.
Pump up song here for the 200th episode of the podcast.
Okay, I got one.
Here we go. Okay.
This is like exciting.
Okay.
This is Bill and Ted's final guitar solo.
Oh,
You ready for
yes,
this?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
From the movie.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
This is our 200th episode, everybody.
200 episodes. We didn't know if we'd be here, but here we are. 200 episodes in. It's been a journey. It's been fun. It's been real.
This is such a good song, by the way.
This is really good. Like this.
I better turn it down a
This
little
is
bit.
like inspiring me.
I know, because it's from Bill and Ted's. This is Bill and Ted's is John Wick's origin story. It really is.
Oh man, 200 episodes. Here's to another 200. Thank you so much, everybody who's here joining us live in stream. To join us live in stream, you can do so every Friday.
I'm going to keep the music on.
over at
care.
mixer.com/X1Bros. That's mixer.com/X1Bros. As always, for 200 episodes now, I am joined by the bros, the X1 Bros. First and foremost,
Yeah.
he is the man who doesn't currently have a 10, but he's Mr. Big Spicy.
I really
Mark
don't.
Hayward.
Especially with these lights on my face. It like totally like destroys the
Everything.
perception of
Yeah.
my skin color.
How
I am a ghost.
Mr. Big Spicy.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Ah, yeah, I'm doing really good. It was such a busy week, but it was like a good busy.
Yeah.
It was pay the bills busy.
Oh, I understand. I know how that goes.
And that feels really, really good as a person that likes to not,
As a person that
starve.
That likes to live life, right?
And I got really, I got back into Fortnite again
Oh,
because the
yeah.
season 3 stuff came out, and
Yeah.
it is sexy.
It is on point, huh?
It's so good. Yeah.
Second is Jordan, the man, Jordan Paskett here in the middle. As always, Jordan,
Hello.
how's life?
It's good.
Good. What anything big happened to you this week?
I did nothing. Well, I mean, I did stuff.
Sure.
But other than that, I did nothing other than play Fortnite.
You've been big into Fortnite
Yeah.
as well, huh?
I said to myself,
Self?
I said, hey,
Hey, Jordan.
let's try this season thing out.
Oh, yeah.
And then I tried it out.
Oh,
And I immediately told you guys
your thoughts.
to spend the $10 if you don't already have the V-Bucks, right?
Yeah.
And I've been playing it. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
It is. Like
It is. It's good.
I
man.
play it. I think about it. If I don't play it once a day, I get the shakes.
Sure.
It's fun.
Start scratching.
Yeah, yeah,
Where's my Fortnite?
yeah. No, it's fun.
Last but not least, I am X1 Bros. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Fortnite, let's talk about it. Jordan, I know this is in the news, but let's talk about it right now.
Well, let's,
Fortnite came out with 2 updates.
2 updates. One of them, literally, you don't need to care about.
Okay.
Unless you're the 2 people that had client crashes.
Yeah.
There's one little tiny small update that just fixes some client crashes. Then there's the big update, which is season 3 of Fortnite. Now, you're probably thinking, Jordan, what's a season in Fortnite?
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
Let me tell you.
Okay.
So basically, just like any other game, there's a season with a window of opportunity to play within that season.
60 days. Well, I think it's like 65 or 70. But now,
It's a chunk.
right now, we're on day 60.
Yeah.
Left.
So
60
what
left.
they do is during a season they release a battle pass, right? And what this battle pass does is as you rank up within this battle pass, there's 100 tiers, so 100 ranks essentially. You get extra rewards for ranking up, and those extra rewards are skins, gliders, backpacks. And I'm just gonna say it right now. I know last week I said, "Hey, I wish they could let me customize my characters," but you can't actually customize your character. But the skins that they give you are close enough. They're some of the best skins I've ever seen.
Yeah, comparable to Blizzard skins.
And I did make fun of backpacks, and I would like to apologize as well because those are some of the coolest backpacks also that I've ever seen.
The Twitch Prime rocket backpack is pretty
and
sweet.
when you fly down, another cosmetic, when you
Sure.
fly down, there's the little like wind shears coming off you. You can change those to flames, sparkles, whatever,
that's
right?
cool.
Yeah, so anyway, there's all different sorts of unlocks you can get, even, which I think this is a hilarious idea. Yeah.
You can customize your loading screen because you can unlock different loading screens.
And some of them
is
are
funny.
amazing.
Yeah.
There's a
cool.
unicorn one
I've
that
seen the unicorn one.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to have.
But yeah, so what a season is you rank up during the season. You have so many 60 something days. But what's really cool about it, and what I really got into it, and I think it's kind of what brings it alive, is in the season you have to rank up from tier 1 to tier 2, all the way so on and so forth to 100 to receive all the rewards.
Yep.
It's not just an experience ranking up. You actually have to complete objectives. They use a star system is what we'll call it. And each daily challenge or daily objective or different objectives you have just in your battle
give you
season
bonus stars.
3 give you stars and bonus stars, right? So, for example, there was one objective to get 3 kills in Fatal Fields, which me and Mark tried to go for.
Yeah, I did. I eventually got it.
Oh, good. I only need one more kill there.
I actually got it all in one round.
No, very
I
cool.
killed 3 people.
Very good.
I was
yeah.
I popped that collar and then died a couple seconds later, but I got him.
That's good. And then so when you complete that challenge, you get 5 stars, and then that 5 stars adds to your star pool, and it's like, every tier it goes up. Like you need 10 stars to get from tier 1 to tier 2, more and more and more. So it's really cool. You log in, you're like, oh, what are my dailies today? And then they even have a challenge book for battle or for the battle pass, season 3, and it gives you, and how the challenge book is laid out. It's laid out in weeks, so you have a certain amount of challenges that will unlock in week 1, and then recently this week 2 just unlocked. Yesterday or the day before. So week 2 just unlocked.
This is what you get if you pay the V-Bucks or pay the $10.
Now, it is $10 to get the battle pass, and you might think, oh, is it worth $10? Honestly, the game is free to play if you've not, if you're only on the Battle Royale side. $10 is well worth it. The amount of stuff you get back in cosmetics and stuff like that is the value is more than the value.
And what's funny
$10.
is if you complete everything, you get your money back.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, it gives you all the so it costs what, 1,000 V-Bucks? Which is, and I think $10 is like 1,100, right? Sure. But if you complete all the way up to tier 100, you eventually earn back your 1,000 V-Bucks
that you can then spend.
On the next season.
On the next season,
or different cosmetics in the shop.
But whoever put this system together,
it's genius.
Yeah, they hired.
This
has got to be Lloyd's cousin, the idea guy. Lloyd's cousin was just like, he was on vacation everywhere, and then somebody nabbed him. And
now Lloyd's fired, and his cousin.
Well, Lloyd's still working for the other guys.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I feel like Fortnite has the pedigree of just kind of copying other people, but when they do it so good.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this was a big deal. It's been all over the internet. These Fortnite updates. Fortnite has become huge, especially just in the last, I'd say, 2 weeks. Just ginormous. Has Fortnite just defeated PUBG?
Well, not
with this update.
I don't. Well,
are they on the ropes?
I'll tell you this.
They're boxing.
I will be playing Fortnite because of this system and not PUBG. So I would say yes in a way for me, because it's that carrot on a stick sensation,
Yeah.
And it's have so many challenges. Even if you complete it, they give you another challenge book that you get tons of, like if you unlock John Wick, the skin for John Wick is the last
tier 100.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's tier 100. If you do it all, you get him.
I think what they did was they listened to our show last week, and then they were like, "These guys love John Wick. Let's just throw him in. It's a great idea."
No, it was live last week. Like it had just barely gone live last week. That's why I was like that. But no, like the carrot on the stick, that the star system, the XP system, the stuff you get your money back in a way. You get your V-Bucks back,
but you still pay an initial $10, so they're benefited.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
you don't have to.
It's all optional.
But you want to because of all the glorious crap you get, and it's.
And honestly,
so
Mark,
good.
actually, you didn't even pay $10. You actually had enough V-Bucks saved up. Yeah. I paid 10 because I only had like 500 V-Bucks. So I was like, I'll just buy.
Yeah, I had V-Bucks from when I played the game before. So that I never spent. So I was able to get it for free essentially.
Yeah.
So as of right now, Fortnite #1 hands down between the two, between PUBG and Fortnite.
I don't think PUBG's gone. I mean, I think it's always going to have its place. I think it's still up there. But honestly, Fortnite's. I mean, they're playing serious.
They're starting to pull away.
Yeah. Well, I know it's. I mean, right now I'm on the same train as Mark. Right now I'm playing Fortnite because of this system.
Yeah.
Like I feel as if I have a drive. Like I go in, I'm like, oh, I got to get the dailies. I got to get tier 100. I got to get this.
Well, and you can still.
Well, and it's a time limit, so you're almost. I mean, I got to do it. I got to do the daily. At least play once or twice a day. You know?
And all the challenges are amazing. They even have treasure map challenges.
Yeah. Have you done one yet?
I
neither have I. I was gonna.
I don't know even where to start. You have to find a treasure map on
and
the map
follow it.
and then follow it. They have those. They have you play a certain amount of games. You do a certain amount of damage with a certain gun. They have all these things, and they unlock every week. They have dailies. They have they have an experience bar that the more you gain in levels of your experience, then it gives you more experience by giving you a multiplier. The whole concept, it seems really complicated when you don't look at it, but it's actually very simple, and it is one of the best XP carrot on a sticks that I've ever played.
Don't forget Xbox One X enhanced.
Oh, yeah, it looks really
nice.
good.
Yes.
It looks really
the
good.
colors are bright.
Oh yes,
It looks nice.
Okay, let me ask you this: what does PUBG need to do in order to come back and take the reins back from Fortnite?
Honestly, I think they need to, because PUBG's got a good system, right? I mean, I think their RPG and their tier system with their weapons and gear is really good. You know, you get the tier 1, 2, and 3, right? I think, honestly, what they need to do is get some type of leveling system, not just a standard 1 to 100, but something like this. You know what I mean? And up your cosmetic, your loot boxes, your drops, because it shows people like that. Look at Overwatch. Look at now Fortnite, right? People like the cosmetic loot drops. You know,
the dances you get. So you unlock dances.
Oh, my emote that I unlocked.
Oh,
you probably got that one too.
Yeah, they're the best dances. They have like the old 80s gym, you know, like the 80s, what is it, exercise video dances. They have one where the guy puts an L on his face and then does like this cowboy dance.
It's the new teabag. It really is.
They have so many good skins, emotes, dances, and the dances are hilarious, and it's really frustrating to get the L, you know, teabag
when someone kills you.
They're so funny.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Epic and Fortnite, and good job. We'll see how the battle continues to play out, but it just took off in the last 2 weeks, and it's huge. I mean, they're pulling away.
When even Mark made the comment, how many people are playing to where we only have to wait in 3-second queues any time of the day? I mean,
any time of the day. I don't know how many servers those guys have up, but they have lobbies that get 100 people. Instantly. You find a match every 2 seconds.
Me and Mark can't even run to each other and say hi because you're already in and out. You know,
they have
quick.
So many people.
Now,
and that's because it's free.
To their defense, you know, to PUBG's defense, Fortnite is a lot more accessible to others because it's free.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, that's also another reason you could say Fortnite takes an edge here.
Yeah, because it's free.
The audience is far larger now.
It's not like, oh, here's a free to play game. Like, it's a good free to play game. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I don't know. I say it has the edge right now.
I agree.
I think the numbers bear that out. If you just look at what's happening, how many people are watching it, streaming it. I mean, just playing in it currently. And it's ginormous.
I love how they're doing Chinese New Year too. So they're doing Chinese New Year, right? But I think we talk about the stuff guy. I think their stuff guy just like is there and he's playing other games and he's like, oh, Overwatch is doing Chinese New Year. Why don't you throw that in there? Like, because I feel like that's what they do, but they do it so well.
Yeah, why not?
Did you know on the Battle Royale map there is actually a little Chinese city?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I forget what it's really called, Lucky something, or
it's on the bottom right.
Yeah, it's just for which, honestly, and that's why I got Lucky Landing. That's why I got excited when PUBG came out with the new map because variety is nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having these little new zones in the map, that's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that.
Agreed. It's the first podcast of the month, the first podcast of the month of March, which means it's time for our Patreon giveaway. We are implementing a new Patreon giveaway where we give away a video game to everybody who has not to everybody. We do a raffle to give away a video game to anybody who has donated $3 or more. And then to absolutely anybody, whether it's $1 or $1,000, we give away an XoneBros mug. So donate $1,000, get a mug.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
It's a good mug.
No, so we have 2 giveaways. This month's winner of the video game giveaway gets to choose between Far Cry.
Oh, yeah, 5?
Number 5, of course. Monster Hunter.
Oh.
Or For Honor.
Whoa.
3 fantastic games. Jordan, which one would you pick?
Which one would I pick?
I would do Far Cry.
Far Cry.
Sorry, I know you didn't ask me.
Far Cry 5, because, you know, it's the only one I don't have right now.
Anyways, the winner of this month's Patreon video game giveaway is none other then the one and only Organic
All
Avenger.
right.
Organic
Woo.
Avenger, come on down.
Yeah.
Congratulations and thank you for your support. If you'd like to support us, you can do so over on XoneBros.com/support or Patreon.com/positive gaming. If everybody just donated $1, we'd be able to do this full time and take positive gaming to the rest of the world. Our drawing for the monthly X1Bros positive gaming mug goes to
Oh, yeah.
none other
Oh.
than the one, the only, Mr. Robert South.
All
Robert South, come
right,
on
yeah.
down. That's a laugh?
I guess I did. That's funny.
Hey,
A lot of clapping in there too. Sorry.
There we go. Thank you guys so much for your support. We will be contacting you via email to get you your prizes.
One of these days I'll figure this out.
I played a lot of Monster Hunter this week, guys.
Oh,
you
nice.
I played
did.
a lot of Monster Hunter.
I saw
You
you.
guys jumped in and played with me.
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
for
we
a little
killed
while.
the Andronath. together.
I'm just really
Oh, no,
enjoying.
we trapped him.
I'm just really enjoying that game, and especially now that I've made it to high rank. High
Yeah.
rank, that's when the game starts.
Yeah.
It takes forever. I'm at 28 hours, and I just hit high rank, and now the game begins.
That was the tutorial.
Yeah, that was the tutorial
It
zone.
took me 40 hours to get to that point, just so you know.
Yeah, but it's just such a good game. The grinding I'm really enjoying, actually. And grindy games are hard for me because I'm not good at focusing on the grind.
Yeah.
I get knocked off my game with the grind, but this has kept my attention, and I'm really enjoying it. So we have 2 clans because clans are only at 50. We've started our second clan. If you want to get in the X1Bros clan, you got to join us over on Discord. You just go to x1bros.com, hit the Discord button, and then in the MMO section, if you just message at X1Bros, I will let you know when I'm online. I have to be online. They've not yet fixed that in order to get you into the clan. We do have a second clan, and we're starting to get people in that as well. So there you go. We've got some big news, everybody. Some big news. The time you've all been waiting for. Well, actually, we've got a big show today. It's our 200th episode. We have the GVMERS are here from their YouTube channel, The GVMERS.
Good channel.
An interview coming a little bit later. We'll get to introduce you guys to them. But then we've teased it all week. We have a rather large announcement that we might as well. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Just do it, right?
Yeah.
Do you want music to this? Do you want something sexy? I have something sexy.
Let's give me something sexy, but a little low tone sexy.
All right. Shaft.
Oh, here we go.
You got Shaft, baby.
Shaft.
So we have been working long and hard, and this is just the beginning, but we finally got it to work, and we're finally bringing it out to release. We are bringing to you guys, to the positive gaming community, a 24-hour stream channel. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will be able to go over there and celebrate gaming. It is called the Positive Gaming. It's called Positive Gaming TV. Over at PGTV. Mixer.com/positive gaming. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are also on Twitch. Twitch.tv/positive gaming TV. Go and check it out. Go follow the channel. Now, this is just the beginning. What we've done, check this out. We have over 3,000 trailers that we have compiled and download and put up on a server so that we could stream these 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that we could go and watch and just celebrate gaming. That's all that it's there for. Eventually, we'll be adding...
It just ended. Sorry.
There we go. Eventually, we'll be adding more to the channel, but this is just the beginning. We wanted a way to celebrate games, to really bring about positive gaming, and that is PGTV. Mr. McSpicy.
Yes.
What are you've had the chance to sit in and enjoy PGTV for the last couple days?
What
now?
I've actually done, because I mean I was part of putting this together. I keep it on what I work. I have several monitors with at my workstation where I work.
Yep.
And I have it on one monitor the whole time, and I love it. I love having game. It's just trailers. It's just game trailers, and there are so many games that I did not realize existed.
Oh, what's the one the Japanese VR
Japanese.
pheromone shooter?
That
came up.
Yeah, that came up, and I was
one.
like, "Wow,
Wowzers.
that was gal." Okay, everybody, if you want to, be cautious about what you watch, go to Galgun VR, and you will laugh your head off. Japanese have some crazy games. Anyways, no, it's really fun. It's just something to have on there and just get excited about games. So that's what it is.
Yeah,
Just a 24/7 game trailer channel.
yeah.
all games, all systems,
All
everywhere.
games, all systems from all times. We have
Oh, yeah.
we have retro game trailers in there. We will be compiling and updating and keeping track of the most recent trailers every week, and it will just keep getting larger and larger. And it's just a way to celebrate positive gaming. Like I said, this is just in its infancy. We are going to add more to this channel over time.
I
But
can
we're
s-
really excited.
People are starting to jump in there right now. I have the
Yeah.
server right over there. I'm seeing people in chat
There
just
we
starting to
go.
jump
Yeah,
in. So
Right over here.
Anyways, we're super excited. Positive Gaming, it's coming, baby. It's expanding, it's growing, and it's thanks to this awesome community that we're able to do it. PGTV, go check it out. Tell your friends.
Positive Gaming Television.
Positive Gaming Television is what that stands for. And with that, let's get this show on the road.
There we go. I had to run
All
real
right.
quick.
Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world that is Xbox One this week.
There is a few good. There's actually one announcement that I'm tickled over.
Ooh.
It
But
tickles
we'll
you.
save that one for later. This first one, Turok and Turok 2 are now available on the Xbox One. As promised last week, we now have Turok and Turok 2 Seeds of Evil on Xbox One, both visually enhanced,
Oh,
but essentially, same game other
Yeah.
than that, right? So very cool for that. Also, on the new backward compatibility Xbox One X enhanced list. So these are backward compatible games that have been enhanced for your experience.
now what are these backwards compatible
One of
games?
them is Forza Horizon, the
Oh,
first
yes.
one. So, David, you
Oh.
can go back and give that one a play. Then you have Fable Anniversary,
Mhm.
which is an enhancement of an enhancement. So, I mean, that's double enhanced. And then you have the original Crackdown.
It's a double enhanced.
No, it is.
You
It
know,
is.
that's
yeah,
a good time.
because it's already enhanced because it's the anniversary.
Whenever you
edition.
hear enhanced,
and then
that's
it's
good.
and then it's enhanced again.
And then when you double that enhancement,
Double
you know
enhanced.
it's a good time.
Crackdown, the original one. So if you're getting ready for Crackdown 3, go back and see where it all began. And a
absolutely.
big one, with The Witcher 2 Assassin of Kings.
So have you seen the videos on The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition? That was posted in Discord. Whoa. It looks
I saw
really
the
good.
side by side of it,
Yeah.
and it
It
looks,
looks
way
fabulous.
Also, other Xbox One X ones, Xbox One X games that are backward compatible and enhanced. You have Oblivion, Skate 3, Halo 3, Gears of War 3, Fallout 3, and Assassin's Creed. So there's a list there, and it's growing.
Big list that's growing. Good
so
times.
very, very cool. Let's talk about the box itself
Can-
for a second.
Can I mention one thing
Yeah.
real quick? Since you mentioned Forza Horizon, we actually have a community play tomorrow.
that's right.
It's the Forza Horizon 3 community play. It's the first and third Saturday of every month.
I'm
Tomorrow
excited to be there.
at noon Eastern is Forza Horizon 3. I'm really excited for that one. And then on Saturday, March 17th, we're going to be doing Battlefield 1, baby. It's Saturday, March 17th. Battlefield
Now-
1's community plays first and third
Now,
Saturday
are we
of every month.
throwing down? Are we putting the foot down and saying new maps only, or are we going to
think
have
new
to
maps
go,
only? We're doing new maps
like
only.
Apocalypse?
Apocalypse, yeah.
And
Now,
maybe pick one specific one so everybody doesn't have to buy all three of them.
yeah, well, we're doing Apocalypse,
Apocalypse,
baby.
okay.
Apocalypse,
Apocalypse.
because
Then we can
those
do a little
maps
dogfighting.
are MBJ'd all over the place.
Can you imagine dogfighting with the community?
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be a great
Community
one.
dogfight. So it's going to be the
People
Battlefield
flying
1
around.
Apocalypse map. So if you don't have it, jump
Get
on
it.
it. You've got 2 weeks to get it. They're so fun. We were playing them this week. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
That game does it right. But community plays tomorrow, Forza Horizon 3. Looking forward to playing with everybody. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, so moving
I
on to the
made sure I had it downloaded.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
nice.
That's always
Very
scary.
nice.
When you wake up and then you're like,
Like,
oh,
oh,
no,
no, it's
I
a
can't
90
play with you guys.
It's a 90 gig game.
Yo, it's a big one.
That one is a big one.
So moving on to the box itself, the Xbox. There's some new security features on the console, if you have not noticed. One of them I think is actually very useful. Getting help remembering your username.
Oh,
So some
you've
of
used
the
this many times, have you not?
No, I actually know my email. It's usually
Okay.
a password that I don't know.
Oh.
But so some as they put on their website, some customers only know their gamer tag. So if you have trouble signing into their Microsoft account, it could be a problem because when you sign into your Microsoft account, it asks you for your email that it's attached
yeah.
to, right? If you didn't know your email, you usually had to go call Xbox support, and you know how fun support lines can be sometimes. So they made it nice for you. What you got to do is you just hit forgot your account, and then it'll have you type in your phone number, and then you type in your
Send
phone
you a
number, and then it'll
verification
send
code
you a
or whatever.
verification and all that. Now,
nice.
what you want to do with this, and I suggest doing this, I do it myself.
Okay.
I did it the other day. You go into your Microsoft account. If you don't know your email, you might actually still have to call customer support because you don't have your phone number on file. But make sure all your stuff's up to date. Go in there, put your phone number in. I put it in. I also put in a backup email address, so I'm doubly backed up.
Oh, you're double timed.
Yeah. What the worst?
Good thing we got you that bidet.
Yeah, I would say the worst feeling in the world is like, oh shoot, I forgot my password, and then they're like, oh crap, I don't have my phone with me. Oh, no worries, I can still send it to the email.
Yeah,
See?
gotcha. Yeah.
You want to have that redundancy.
Yeah, I agree.
The double backup
The double
redundancy.
backup redundancy.
The redundancy
Yeah.
is good.
So very cool. Just new security features. You can check it out on either Major Nelson's website. It goes into more detail,
Sure.
or just on Xbox Wire.
Absolutely.
So security is always good. Also on the
Crackdown.
console base.
Crackdown bundle.
This is actually a Sea of Thieves bundle.
Oh baby. Oh, Crackdown. My bad.
But I see where you're going with this.
I want a Crackdown bundle.
There's a rumor that there will be a Crackdown bundle.
I'm sure there will
I
be.
just started that rumor right now. Watch it go throughout the webs.
The webosphere.
I'm sure there'll be a Crackdown bundle.
Yeah, no, I imagine.
Xbox One S, 1 terabyte, Sea of Thieves bundle coming out next
Boom.
month. It'll have Sea of Thieves. It'll also have all the usual stuff. It'll have a trial for Gold, Game Pass, all your typical fun stuff. So
Very
be sure
nice.
to check that out if you're looking to get a new console.
So let me ask you this. So not the bundle, but you know how they come out with the special consoles? Like there was the Forza 6 special console.
yeah, it's a good console.
that was blue.
Very blue, yeah,
So
very cool.
sexy.
Very blue.
What upcoming video games or even past video games maybe that have already released do you want to see as a special console?
A Fortnite console.
A Fortnite console. And now you want a Fortnite
Yeah.
console, huh?
Can you imagine, like, because their art style is so crazy and fun. I mean, you saw the loading screens. Imagine that unicorn just plastered right on your box.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I want an American flag one, so I don't know, Winter Olympics.
You could do
Hello, Winter Olympics.
Overwatch with McCree.
Yeah, how
the
cool
scene,
it would
yeah.
be, 'cause
A McCree Overwatch.
I like my flag,
Yeah.
the American flag right there on my Xbox.
Just
That'd be
country.
sweet.
You know how they have the NFL controllers?
Yeah.
So you want country-specific boxes.
That would
And
be so
that
the
would
awesome.
be
chimes on the buttons
UK
can be
would
like the
have
national
theirs.
anthem.
Yeah, of each of the different countries, like
that's so good.
like a giant maple leaf Canadian box that's "Oh Canada" or
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
or
the chimes. And
or a
stuff.
Union Jack one that's
Yeah.
"God Save the Queen."
They should come out with country
Dude,
flags.
that would be
yeah.
That
awesome.
would be sweet.
Microsoft,
Actually,
do
you know,
it.
you know what they could do? You know how they have their design lab for the controller?
Yeah.
They should apply that to the console.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
It's all it is a skin.
I mean, you probably wouldn't make as much money because the console's $500 base plus.
no, but if I'm paying $500, why
Yeah,
not?
why not spend an
why
extra
not let
100 and
me-
make it look like how
why
I
not
want
let
it
me
to?
customize that bad boy.
I'd
know
put a
what?
big picture of me on it.
That's what I was gonna say. I want one of me.
Yeah.
I want my Xbox.
No, it's too much.
Next
My-
step
my-
for Designs Labs is to let you upload your own pictures.
No, yeah, that it
Aren't
can
you
be
screwed
done.
when you go to trade that in?
Yeah,
You'll
you're
never
saying.
Picture of
trade
you?
that
you can't,
in.
You can't trade that in.
What I used to do, my bank when I was, in my 20s, they allowed me to put my picture on my credit
Oh, yeah,
card.
David
that I
that's-
got.
still
I
has
currently
that.
have
Yeah.
that.
Whenever
that.
they would ask for ID, I'd be like, "That's me on the
I'd
card."
say that. I'd
And
say
do you
that
know
too.
what? Every time they say, "I don't care. I still need to see your
Oh,
license."
see, no, most people will like chuckle and then say yes, but every once in a while they get really mad.
Like,
yeah.
Well, that's me on the card. How is it not my card?
And one time I was with my wife at the movie theater, and it was like this teenage girl, and she was like, "I need to see your ID," and I was like, "Oh, I understand. You probably think that's Brad Pitt. It's not. It's me." She didn't.
Dude,
laugh.
no,
She didn't
I-
laugh,
so I-
but my
I-
wife laughed.
I used to
That
work
was
at a
funny.
bank,
Yeah.
and like you're required by law to ask for ID.
Oh
for
yeah,
certain
no,
things,
I don't.
right?
I don't blame
So
them.
you have
I
to
blame
do-
them for
Okay,
getting
party
mad.
pooper.
Dude, I did. I know. I'm telling you, dude. People got pissed. Like one guy, I don't remember his name or whatever, but anyway, he comes in. I never seen him before.
Okay.
He says, "Hey, I need to cash this check," and I said, "Hey,
Hey, I need to see
I
some
need to
ID.
see, I need
Just
to
like
see
that. Is
some
that what
ID."
you did? Hey, I need to cash this check. Hey, I need to see some
Yeah.
ID.
So can I please see your? I said, "Do you want it in 20s?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, all right. Can I see your ID?" And he says, "But this check is mine." And I said, "No, I can see that. Just make it out to cash. I just need to see your ID." You know what he did? He grabbed the check. He ripped it up in front of me, threw it in the trash can, drove to the other branch, and tried to cash it there.
Oh, was he faking it? Was he?
No. The customer,
Dude, he showed you.
yeah. I was like, okay, well, you just not only wasted a check, you just wasted gas when you could have just pulled
Was
your
he
wallet
rich
out
or something?
I don't know. He was an older guy. They usually get pretty mad at stuff.
Oh.
I've noticed that. But
Well,
no, yeah. So the teller at the other branch called me and she was like, "Yeah, this guy came in really mad," and they knew who he was because he usually goes to that branch. And I was like, "Yeah, I asked for his ID and he ripped it up." And they're like, "Yeah, that sounds like him."
That's
So
funny.
yeah, dude, people.
You should do that.
You know what's funny
when you go in?
is
next
our
time.
dad is one of those people.
Oh yes,
I've seen him, yeah.
he can get angry.
They'd say, "Can I see your ID, sir?" And he'd be like, "Well, why did you get someone that knows me?" Like he would get mad. And I'm sitting there like, and this is when I worked at the bank. I'm like, "Dad, they're just doing their job, you know."
You don't have your license in your back pocket? What is
and
this?
he's like reaching for it, all angry, you know, and
throws it at him.
yeah, yeah.
You pull out my license.
Yeah, that's he's. So I get
think-
it. You know, my dad's one of those guys.
Oh,
He's,
very nice.
yeah.
What about superhero skins? That'd be cool.
Oh, like a
So,
Batman or a
like
Superman.
a
I get a
Superman.
Superman.
The Superman underwear, like a thong, a red thong right on the
No.
with the yellow belt. That would be sweet.
And just sweet superhero Xboxes. I just think it'd be cool to customize your Xboxes. There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
think it would be too.
Moving on.
So, Overwatch came out with a new hero, very cool hero. They came out with a little tiny, what would you call it, comic style trailer, and then they also came out with a developer update where the man Jeff, my
Jeff.
man,
My
built
man.
built my favorite expansion
Yeah.
of Warcraft. Came out and he spoke truth to the people.
Truth of power.
Dude, Jeff is the Blizzard version of Phil Spencer.
Yeah, no, I agree
He
with that.
speaks and people listen.
I agree.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Anyway, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like Brigitte. I'm just gonna call her Bridget.
It's Bridget. Yeah.
No, it's not Bridget.
It's not?
No, it's Brigitte.
So I just pronounced it Brit, but I'm pretty sure in the trailer they
No,
call
it's-
her Bridget.
No, it's Brigitte.
Brigetti.
Brigitte.
Is it
something like
really?
that, yeah.
Yeah, and people were proud of Jeff because it's German.
Oh,
yeah.
because it's Lindholm or something, right? Her
Yeah,
last name?
so because it's
She's the daughter of Torbjorn.
Torbjorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people in chat on the YouTube video I watched were actually proud of Jeff for coming close to pronouncing it correctly.
Well,
I can't pronounce it correctly, so I'm going to be that guy that just
We'll say
pronounces
Bridget.
it.
I'm just gonna
I'm
call
say
her
Bridget.
Baggett.
it's
Baggins.
the English
Bilbo
Bagel.
Baggins.
the English way to say it is Bridget.
Yeah.
That's what we'll say.
Yeah,
the
that's
English
what we'll say.
translation.
Yeah.
is
I'm gonna
Bridget.
call her Baggett.
So very cool. She has some cool abilities. She's going to be in the support section, the support class. She's going to be kind of that. I don't know if you want to call her like a tank healer hybrid.
She
but
definitely
I mean
is a
that's
tank
what
hybrid.
she is. She's going to support. She has a shield bash for one of her abilities, which is really cool.
She has a shield.
Well, she has a shield.
She has a
It's
shield.
no Reinhardt shield, but
it's
a shield.
personal shield.
It's a
Yeah,
personal shield.
But do you know what I think the perfect class to, kind of describe her would be?
Mhm.
A Templar.
Yeah,
in like Diablo.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
Because she's got a swinging mace,
yeah.
and then she has the abilities that
She can do a single target heal.
single
correct,
target
yeah.
heal, and as she hits people, it heals people around her.
Mhm.
She's got what do they call it? Inspire. She has ability called Inspire.
Isn't that her ult?
Yes.
Her ult, yeah, it goes out in a radius, kind of like a. What are the names of those people? Like a Lucio circle
Yeah,
or
exactly.
a
Yeah.
Zenyatta orb kind of thing. And what that does, she gets a speed boost while doing it, but doesn't it? It gives you. I don't know if it gives
permanent armor. Everyone
Yeah, okay,
around
yeah,
you gets permanent armor.
Yeah. So, which is really cool. But yeah, she's a support character. It's gonna be cool.
She looks cool, by the way.
Yeah, she does. She does.
I
She-
think
I
think
they're
after Orisa, the French fry unicorn,
they got rid of their stuff guy.
yeah, they fired that stuff.
He's
guy.
on another game. Yeah.
So we like her.
Yeah, she
Yes.
seems cool. She seems like a fun. Well, her lore is really cool. She's the son of, or son. I'm sorry,
Torbjorn.
she's the daughter of Torbjorn. She was Reinhardt's squire.
Oh,
Yes,
I
and
like
that's kind of why she has that kind of Reinhardt feel. She's got the shield, she got that armor, but she's also got that Torbjorn mechanical mind.
Yeah, she's really cool. One of the reasons they made her is to counter some of the more popular people right
Yeah.
now, which is
That's what
Tracer,
it is.
Genji. She destroys those two,
Mhm.
those divers.
Really, why?
Because her bash, her shield bath, stuns them. She can one-shot Tracer. Just
Wow.
bash and then whip, and the Tracer's gone.
Interesting.
And she she interrupts. She's another interrupter.
And she can protect with that shield, maybe like a person behind her. They were talking about how if you're directly behind her, she can take the brunt of the damage for
Yeah.
you and stuff. So not as big as Reinhardt's shield, but she can do a little bit if you're in a bind.
So she's totally going to change how the game is played, which is what I like about new characters.
Yeah.
So the meta is going to be shaken.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So,
They're gonna
that's a-
shake that tree.
so do instead of nerfing players, they just add players that cancel out the OP players.
Well, I mean, they
Th-
still go.
they
I mean, it's a
buff and
huge
nerf.
balancing act, right? I don't like that guy's job.
So
is
is it
probably
balanced?
so
Because
hard.
I know a couple of weeks ago we talked, and you guys said that it wasn't balanced at the time, that they were struggling to get it more
Oh,
balanced.
we did? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember
Yeah.
that either.
Is it balanced? Have they achieved?
It feels
better
good.
balancing?
I mean, it's as balanced as you can make it. You got to think though, it's a team based shooter, right? So certain characters are going to dominate other characters. That's why they're there, right? So
One character is meant to counter
another character, right? And that's why you have your team composition, you have your switches mid game. You know what I mean? So I think it's as balanced as it can be right now. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have the Bastions taking on Tracer anymore.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Well, there you go. That's just exciting.
It's it creates fresh life to the game.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And I love that.
Very
That.
cool. Steven Spielberg,
Boom.
the Halo TV miniseries that's been in production for 4 years or so. Got a little breath of life. We heard that it might be starting filming later this year,
Soon.
in the fall of 2018. The other guys, it didn't specifically say Steven Spielberg is still attached to it, but he was attached to it, and the guys that were originally attached to it are still attached to it. So we're assuming Steven Spielberg is still attached to this project.
Yeah, everybody thinks that Steven Spielberg. I mean, Ready Player One is releasing.
Mhm.
That was his
And
big project.
I don't
Now
know
he can move on to Halo.
if you've seen, but there is a Spartan, a cameo in Ready Player One trailer, along with Tracer
Yeah.
and Shepard from Mass Effect, and
Don't
the
forget that
orange
Back
hair
to the
dude
Future
from
car.
Tekken.
They had
And the
everything.
dude. There's like almost every video game in
Do
that.
you think that did they have to buy rights to that? To those?
No, you just change it slightly.
So
Yeah. It's,
Like the
it's actually
helmets-
Tosser instead of Tracer.
or it's Tracy.
It's
Dude,
just
honestly,
Tracy.
no. I mean, I bet you do, but I bet people like Blizzard are like, do it because, for example, you take the South Park episode of World of Warcraft. Blizzard just gave them stuff because they thought it would be awesome.
Well,
you know what I mean? And
It actually, in this case, it would add hype to your product.
Mhm.
Example: Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
They tried to get Barbie into it. It's the first real animation movie that ever came out.
Yeah.
They tried to get Barbie. Barbie shut them down hard. But Toy Story was Toy Story. Huge
Yeah.
movie.
And Bar was like, "Oh shoot."
That's why Barbie's in the second movie, because then they went,
Ah.
"Oh my gosh!" And that's
Look-
why they
Look
go
at
to
those
the
Mr.
store.
Potato Head sales just skyrocketed after Toy Story.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
So
Well, same thing, and I bet same with Microsoft, right? I'm sure they're like, yeah, use Spartans. Like, I mean, it's just, I'm sure it's cool for the company to see their characters on big screen too. So
their characters are going to sell.
I mean,
more.
I'm sure that they may have paid rights and stuff like that, but I would think a lot of some of these companies like the Blizzard, because I know that with the South Park they just gave them servers and said, hey, do what you want, and it's probably the best episode of South Park you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it was a good one.
It was awesome.
So-
Make love, not Warcraft.
Yeah.
Go watch that episode.
and there is an achievement in the game.
So
called that.
Halo is coming out as a TV series. I think that's awesome. I think it's a
Mhm.
game that's set up in a story, a universe that's set up well
Mhm.
for a TV series done right. Sci-fi done well, high production value. I think this could be huge. What other video game series would you like to see come to a Netflix special or a TV series like what's happening with Halo?
Fortnite.
How would you do Fortnite?
Dude,
I guess
that would-
it's just
that's- That would be a perfect anime.
Okay, I could see that as an anime.
I
And
don't
just, like,
see
have
it as
these
an anime.
characters,
Like,
yeah.
I can't see that. Like, okay, are you taking the battle royale or the zombie?
Oh, battle royale with a mixture of zombies. Battle royale with zombies.
So DayZ.
So
Yeah.
So you want to see a DayZ
Yeah.
series? No, I think Witcher. I think you could do Witcher.
Well, Witcher's already it's a book,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's a very good book series.
Could you do
Mass Effect. I think you can do Mass Effect.
Oh, Mass
That'd
Effect
be a good
is big enough to
Who
do
is
absolutely.
also in Ready Player One.
Do you think Halo is the best one set up for that, or do you think there are any that
I think they
could
probably
be-
have the most
could
money.
be better than Halo as a TV series?
Well, I mean, Halo is basically the what was that Stormtroopers show?
Starship
Starship
Troopers,
Troopers.
yeah.
It's basically that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Aliens come, we defend ourselves. They blow up planets. We just
We defend ourselves
we
again.
defend ourselves.
I love more planets.
It's just a good
Back and
formula.
forth.
It's
Yeah.
a great formula. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you think Gears would be better
Yeah.
than Halo?
Yeah, it'd definitely be a mature show.
because
But
I
it
mean,
would be-
StarCraft is the same thing.
Oh,
Zerg
yeah.
come and
Yeah.
take over planets,
Yeah.
and then we.
That's true.
Then we
that
defend
that
it,
is
and then-
StarCraft is Starship Troopers.
Do you
with
prefer
Zerg.
the
Yeah.
StarCraft story or the Halo story?
I prefer Halo.
Well, both have their benefits. There's only one Master Chief, although Jim Raynor is pretty.
He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. He's
Do
your
you-
he. Imagine John Marsden
Okay.
as
space.
In space. That is who Jim
That's
Raynor is.
well, and I know you were really disappointed in the Zelnaga reveal, weren't you? Yeah, that kind of took it
no.
down for you a little bit, didn't it?
Okay, if you haven't played StarCraft, it came out like 10 years ago. StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
So every
Fat octopuses.
The Zelnaga, it kind of takes you off a little
Yeah, I
bit.
was like, oh, that's
a
moderately
good-
disappointing.
So Ace
Build
of
up to that.
Mace in chat says he'd like to see a Dead Space series. That would be cool.
Hey,
That game
actually-
is awesome.
After 9 mil said Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
because that movie, I watched it off of your recommendation because you watched it on.
It was
a plane.
good.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
liked
really good. And like, can we talk about it or is it?
Yeah, of course. Go
Okay,
ahead.
dude, when he does the leap of faith
Yeah.
at the end, I was,
I really liked when
and like he broke
it
the
was
weird, he broke the animatronic animus,
Sure.
and I was
You were
asked my wife, I kind of all right. Yeah.
I
it was
thought
cool.
that
I was legit.
I thought that movie would suck, and I was impressed.
Yeah, no, and
Well,
that's
that's
how I
actually-
went into it. Yeah,
maybe that's why it worked. Because our expectations were so low.
like, wow.
It was super cheesy, kinda, but I really liked how we saw other people started appearing. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's the guy from Game 3. Oh yeah, that's the
and you're like,
that's
oh, yeah,
he went to America. I know that one.
yeah.
I hunted whales.
It was cool. Like I enjoyed it.
I've got one because someone in chat said Duke Nukem would make a great TV series. No, Wolfenstein would be an awesome TV series.
That would work really well.
That would be
actually.
so cool.
The concept of Nazi Germany winning the war.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And there's
made
so
movies.
many different stories that you could do with it. And then
Strawberry shakes.
and then the main characters and that
The
would be
crazies,
so
yeah.
cool.
like a resistance
Also,
against
Fallout would be a really cool
Yeah.
series
Nuclear
as well.
post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland.
Yeah. We could spend a couple seasons just building houses,
Yeah.
building your fort.
Building your fort up, yeah.
having that guy come and tell you to check out the other,
The Minutemen.
the
Yeah.
Minutemen guy. He's
So
like,
the hard part in going from a video game to a movie or a TV series is a lot of video games. Like think about like Zelda. Think about the latest Zelda. A lot of that game is you walking around exploring places. That'd be a really boring movie. Like it's just you
Well, I think
traveling
that's
no,
why
from place to place.
if you do it right, I mean, because Hunter x Hunter, the anime,
okay.
they have like a series of 5 episodes in a row where they're just running and talking. I kid you not, and it is actually entertaining.
And you're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
5
story
episodes.
process.
It's like 3 or 5 or I don't know how many episodes, but they're seriously just running and talking.
That is too
And then
funny.
the rock music comes on, and you're like, oh, let's go to the next one.
Next episode. Oh dang, what's gonna happen?
They run.
They're still running. There they go.
So it depends on how you do it.
Anyways, I hope this is the beginning of video games going over into more storytelling via, the TV series / movie medium. I mean, you really like, as a World of Warcraft fan, you like the World of Warcraft
I
movie.
really enjoyed it. I mean, they changed some stuff, but honestly, I liked it.
The World of Warcraft movie?
Yeah,
I really
liked it.
I
yeah.
really like that a lot.
It was good.
I
honestly, I hope they make another one. I'm probably gonna go watch it tonight now. But
I
no,
am too.
I hope they make another one.
Can we call each other up?
Thank you, China, for putting us over the edge. China helped us out a lot on that one. They really did.
getting enough money for the
Yeah. No, China, they skyrocket. Go China.
Oh,
They really helped us out on that one.
9 mil in chat says Firewatch is another one. Firewatch
that'd be like a
would
drama,
be a
yeah.
because
Suspenseful
it's
drama.
basically the game is a story.
It really
the
is.
Game is, although that game is a lot of walking around, but there you go. Animes do it.
Yeah.
Why not do it in Firewatch? There you go.
Well, half the game for me was trying to figure out what that girl looked like.
Yeah,
Remember?
and see, that's the mystery.
And you're like, oh, she was here, and then it's just her sandwich, and you're like, ah, dang it, I can't
And
see
then
what
like
she
you
looks
would
like.
flirt with her, like, oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I wanted to see what she looked like.
Yeah.
Didn't you
Yeah.
get that?
Yeah,
that
it
game?
was- yeah.
Or you just cared about what the murder and stuff? that
I
was
cared about
going
the
on?
murder.
Oh, okay.
No.
I really just wanted to see what she looked like. That was my whole shtick on that one.
Moving on.
Anyway, yeah.
Cyberpunk.
So Cyberpunk 2077 is the new game coming from CD Projekt Red, which
and tell the world what CD Projekt Red
yeah.
has
So they
said
said
about
so the
Cyberpunk.
CD
This is
Projekt
why it
Red
made news.
makes Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
Right? So they came out and said that Cyberpunk 2077 is more ambitious than The Witcher 3. So they basically said, you remember The Witcher 3? This one's a lot better.
I think
you're like,
I've been
whoa.
excited for this game for like 10 years. How
And
long
it
is
probably
this?
won't come out for another 10 years. If it's more ambitious
No, I
than The
think
Witcher
it's-
3. No, I think they got
I
a
think
pretty good
it's been
schedule.
like,
Those guys
2 years ago that it was teased,
kind of
maybe.
announced and teased. Yeah, and
Maybe it was only last year. Actually,
it-
I don't remember. But
I'm excited for it because of their pedigree. They made my top 3.
so, what do you
video
think they
game
mean by
studios.
more ambitious? What when CD Projekt Red talks about Witcher 3 and then they say Cyberpunk 2077 is more ambitious than Witcher 3? What's
I
the
don't
first thing that
Think
pops
of-
into your head?
Quests, maps.
Yeah, but like
graphics.
think of how good the Witcher 3 side quests were, and that was ambitious to take that on because I mean you gotta really put a lot of effort into those side
You have
quests.
to
make
hire
them
at least-
just as interesting as the main quest, right?
You have to hire at least like 15 stuff guys.
So this
Yeah.
is
For those
more
quests.
ambitious.
Those aren't just fetch quests. Those are like, wow. I don't know what to do on this one. This is there were quests where I just sat back and went, holy crap, that's a tough place to live.
So this is more ambitious than that. So more.
So you're thinking maps and quests.
Maps, quests, probably game size. Honestly, a lot of it is probably the systems and technology that they use. Because I mean, that's a lot of stuff in The Witcher 3. Because think of this as like they probably have a board where there's just strings and stuff going across. Because think about it, you make decision A in situation B, which affects you in situation C because of decision A that you made, right? I mean, that's
fun fact.
That is crazy. I mean, because how many times did you guys play the game? You're like, oh, I remember that guy. He's mad at me because of what I did in this quest, and now he's doing this to that town, and that's so much. I mean, so maybe on the back end, it's more ambitious.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I think Witcher with guns. That's what I think.
And futuristic.
And futuristic
you know,
robot.
You know the stories are tied together.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
This is Geralt's great grandson.
Shut up.
No, because for mild spoilers, if you haven't played Witcher 3 or read the books, okay.
Wait,
and
you're 100% serious here?
Yes, I'm actually very serious.
Okay.
The stories touch each other.
Okay.
So Ciri, if you know her power, what can she do? She can basically control space and time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like little riffs.
Your little riffs. So she's a
hunt,
she can go in and out of realities.
Mm-hmm.
She went into Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
She did.
No.
She mentions it in one line somewhere. And so in the game, obviously, because
in Witcher 3,
it's like a teaser.
It's like an Easter egg.
I don't know if it was Witcher 3. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
But she mentions very specific details about Cyberpunk. It was like it was something about a nuclear warhead or something, or arrows that blew each other up from like continents.
Wow.
It was something. So they teased their new game in that game.
You just blew my mind.
But because she can travel through realities,
different
and
dimensions.
worlds and dimensions and space and time. So, anyways,
maybe she's the main character that you play.
I'm just saying.
How cool would that be?
Those stories touch, and someone can look it up online. The fact check of what I said, because I can't remember exactly what was said, but I remember going, "That's freaking amazing."
All right, a little bit back into Fortnite. With all the updates that they did, they actually came out with a new Lunatine mode called Solid Gold. It's only available in the team squad play, but every weapon on the map is gold and legendary. So any loot box you take, you don't got to work your way up. It's just straight up legendary gold weapons. So very cool. And they actually talked about having different events and different game modes like this. I think they talked about having 5 in the next so many days or months, right?
Well,
which is really cool.
They just came out with a new weapon too, part of season 3, the musket.
And didn't they come out with the crossbow?
Crossbow
recently? Wasn't that still pretty recent?
I think the musket was this week. They just keep updating their game. It's fantastic.
Dude, and honestly, I mean, not that PUBG is not updating their game, but Fortnite is just doing it at such a fast pace, and they haven't lost steam yet. You know what I mean?
No, they're just gaining steam. It's starting to snowball.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because I'm Ginger in chat says Destiny would make a great show too, but it would all just be action-packed footage, and you'd have to read the Grimoire cards online.
Yeah, you'd have to read the lore.
The show plays.
That's funny. That's funny. That actually might be interesting.
That actually might be fun
because, like, you know how you can Shazam some commercials?
Yeah.
I wonder if some parts of the show you could Shazam
and it's a Grimoire card.
You could pull up a Grimoire card.
That would be awesome.
Funny. The next story and the last story of the week actually got me kind of excited.
Oh yeah.
So do you guys remember
I do remember
game / show called Defiance?
I liked the show. I watched season 1.
Yeah, that's
all I watched too.
No, I watched all 3, and they do some stuff, and it just
yeah.
You just think, why? How are you all sitting in a room?
I remember I didn't continue on because you told me.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think. There's like so many writers sitting in a room. One person doesn't say, "Hey guys, I think that might be stupid."
It's the George Lucas syndrome.
Yeah, and then what happens? The show gets canceled because it was stupid. But anyway, I dive deep into this game.
I digress.
Defiance is the game, right? I was super excited for this one. This was before Destiny, was even announced, right? Sure. So this is like a shooter MMO, right? Two of my favorite genres, shooter and MMO. And I'm thinking, oh man, then there's a TV show going with it on the Sci-Fi Channel. So it's big budget stuff,
Wasn't this one of the first MMOs on consoles too?
Yes. Yeah, on the 360 and the PlayStation, in addition to the PC as well.
Yeah.
So I went and I watched every week. I watched the show. and then I did like the epic, and the show and the game crossed over sometimes. So you're just like, oh my, it was blowing your mind, right? Yeah, I know that guy. And then I went and bought like the super, $200 edition, right? Which I still have, which is still pretty cool. But I was super into this game. But the problem with the game is it had all this great stuff, but it just, for some reason, it wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, they had all these great features, all this cool stuff, all this ambition, but for some reason it just didn't hold you. And it kind of, I kind of got a little disappointed and fell off, and then it went free to play and stuff like that. And then the show kind of slowly.
You did get a good statue out of this.
I did get a good statue of a hellbug, right?
Yeah.
But it was really cool and really exciting. And then what they're doing now is there's Defiance. They're calling it Defiance 2050. And what it is, it's going to probably come out this summer with a closed beta coming soon. But they say it's a ground up, like from the ground up, new experience for Defiance. Yeah.
So is it a whole new game, or
so
is it just...
I think it's going to be the same game. I think there's going to be a lot of heavy changes.
Okay.
But the base game is still the same, still there, right? Essentially, right? But from what it sounds like, they're changing the leveling system, the loot system, all different types of systems, probably a graphical upgrade, stuff like that, right? Biggest announcement is it's coming to the Xbox One, so it'll be on current consoles. And they said Defiance 2050, which is the new version of the game, is also being built from the ground up as a free-to-play game. Very cool. It'll be free-to-play. You can download. Now, how they do their free-to-play model will be interesting. But I'm really excited to see where they go, and maybe they're because, like I said, it had so many cool features at the time, but there was something there that just kept it from exploding to greatness,
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see all their new builds and what they do, because I think this game can do it. I mean, it was almost there already.
Yeah.
So it'll be exciting for it coming to the Xbox One. Closed beta coming soon. You can go to the website Defiance 2050 and sign up. But they're looking at a summer release.
So let me ask you this, Jordan. Are we excited for Defiance coming to the Xbox One?
I am. This game, I don't want to say started dynamic events, but made them cool. Because you know how in Guild Wars you'd have your big monsters? This game did that before Guild Wars. I'm pretty sure it did anyway. You'd have big monsters, and they were called
Were they like
arc
world
falls, right?
events?
Yeah, big world events where the server would come together and be like, oh,
so what do they need to tweak a little bit for you to just really dive in?
Dude, that's the thing. I don't know what it was. Like, it wasn't.
Well, I mean,
Destiny did it. Right?
I gotta say, for me, the carrot on the stick wasn't there as strong as your general
you're
MMO.
right, yeah.
You get your mount within 5 minutes of the game.
And they had mounts in the version of like cars and vehicles, correct?
Yeah,
4-wheelers, yeah. Or I don't know, ATVs or something you sit on and ride.
Maybe making the world a little bit bigger. Graphic Killer brings up a good point. The campaign story should be a little bit stronger. Side quests maybe a little bit stronger. Like they had all the ideas worked, but it just wasn't there. You know what I mean? It was close, but not quite there. And then you got games like Destiny that came out that do it right.
So do you think you think they can do it coming back to the Xbox One and really
I think they can. And a lot of speculation is they're seeing how well games like Destiny are doing, and they want to jump back in and take a piece of that pie, right? Well, and if you make it just as fun as Destiny, you are, as a free-to-play model, I mean, you're in business.
You're riding pretty.
Yeah.
As a Warframe model?
Yeah, there you go. It's a Warframe model. Yeah.
That's exciting. Those are the biggest stories.
Yeah, so I got really excited about that.
There you go.
If you watch the show, just watch season 1.
Absolutely. We have the gamers. These are a great bunch of gentlemen, very talented. We had the opportunity to interview them this week, and we're bringing that interview to you live now. Enjoy. Get super great bunch of guys. Here we go. I'd like to welcome to the show two very talented gentlemen from GVMERS, gamers.com, the Gamers YouTube channel. That's Gamers with a V, so GVMERS. They are Eilert and Alexander. They make video game documentaries. Their YouTube channel is dedicated to making video game documentaries. Thank you for being on the show, guys, and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So let's start. We'll first start with Eilert, and then we'll go to Alexander. Why don't you guys just take a minute to introduce yourselves? Maybe explain a little bit your gaming background and your interests and how you got started doing this. Let's start with Eilert.
So my name is Eilert. I've been making videos ever since 2006. Really, I started making Battlefield 2, Battlefront 2, machinima videos really, and that's how I really got into gaming. Um, well, that's my gaming knowledge really. I love RTS games, I love FPS games, RPGs. And I always wanted to make informative gaming videos, and that's how how gamers was born really.
Very, very cool. So you said RTS. Real quick, what's your favorite RTS game?
Command and Conquer, of course.
Oh man, and that's the video that discovered me to you guys, that hooked me. Oh, I could tell the passion was there in that video. Very cool.
Thank you, thank you. You're too kind.
Alexander, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of my gaming history, I kind of started out weaned in the school of Nintendo, so to speak. And ever since then, like a lot of my gaming history has been sort of defined by platforming games, sort of games of like in the Nintendo style. Slowly but surely, as I grew up, I was sort of weaned off of Nintendo, and I was sort of exposed to a larger ecosystem of other titles from its competitors. And I've always been interested in kind of like very kind of informative, gaming sort of like pieces, videos, whatnot. However, unlike Eilert, I didn't really get into the YouTube scene until very, very recently. I did sort of like maintain a blog where I would sort of write my thoughts on the industry and on individual games I had played. And then at a certain point, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to do this a little bit more professionally. So I reached out to a couple of websites, sort of smaller, like blogs and whatnot, that were looking for talent. And I said, hey, let me write for you. One of these gaming blogs was called Pardon the Gamer. And it's funny, when I originally started writing for them, I started writing these ridiculous joke articles like 5 games that pineapple doesn't belong on. Like it was like this weird rip off of the whole like pineapple doesn't belong on pizza kind of trend that was going on the internet. And then randomly, I decided I'm going to write a serious piece on my thoughts on what we can expect out of Metroid Prime 4, which we may see this year, we may not. And apparently that caught the attention of Eiler, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to write for our channel?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll. Why not?" And that grew from a thing of me being like, I'm just going to do this once or twice, because it's something fun and that enjoyable for me to do, to me kind of playing a pretty significant role in the direction of the channel.
Very cool. Very cool. It's so interesting how people come together to make amazing content like you guys do. So, Eilert, why don't you just give everybody a real quick rundown of what the channel is, what it's about, and what your guys' goals are as a channel?
Well, sure. I mean, our first and foremost goal is to deliver interesting, informative gaming videos. I think that what makes our channel really unique is the fact that we cover games that people wouldn't usually discover on their own. And I'm specifically referring to the canceled games we discuss. We've gotten so many comments from people who didn't know that Rainbow Six Patriots existed at a point in time, or that Star Wars 1313 was everything, or that it got canceled. And I think that the fact that we approach games in such a professional manner, I think that really makes us unique, and that's what our channel is really about, covering these games that never existed really, or great franchises that have met their demise.
Yeah, I think that's something you mentioned, just a quality documentary style. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the History Channel, but for video games, right? And it's so interesting. I feel like I'm learning something that I had no idea about. For instance, and I'm an idiot, so this might not be news to everybody, but on your Medal of Honor, I didn't know that Steven Spielberg did that. I had no idea, but I had grown up with the Medal of Honor Allied, and then obviously Call of Duty went into World War II after that, and so stuff like that is just so interesting.
Absolutely, and it's like you make these videos and you start to discover all these interesting stories, right? I mean, it comes naturally when you approach a subject. You start to discover all these things, and that's what really makes our work worthwhile. The fact that you can also learn, by making new videos, and that's totally awesome. That's why I love this channel, really.
Something I want to add to that, to get just a touch serious for a second, is that in addition to learning all these like really fascinating, cool stories, like Steven Spielberg was involved, is the fact that oftentimes when you have these franchises that were canceled or abandoned, or video games that were canceled or whatever, um, you tend to have a lot of, I would say, like hyperbole kind of surrounding them, because people's emotions are very high. The developers whose project was just canceled are very kind of like sad and emotional about it. People who wanted to see it be realized, are very sort of frustrated, and as a result, sort of like the truth tends to get lost or sort of get distorted. And I'd say that one of the kind of like advantages to our channel is we have an opportunity to be like, okay, a few years have passed, the dust has settled, we're all a little bit more calm now. Now let's actually, go back into these franchises and have a kind of calm, rational discussion about what happened. And, maybe sometimes uh, it was as extreme and as bad as some people describe in the case of reasons why video games were canceled or whatnot. But more often than not, it's a little bit more mundane. But I still would say that that mundanity is better than sort of us following sort of like a misconception of what happened.
Sure. Now, on that note, is there a story in particular that stands out from the rest, where when a video game was first canceled, or a studio went under, uh, the storyline went a certain way, but a few years have passed, and as you guys look through it, you find maybe that's what was being said is not necessarily the truth. Is there a particular story that stands out that falls into that category?
Uh, I mean, right off the bat, I guess what comes to mind for me, because it's a franchise that I care a lot about, is Resistance. This is a PlayStation 3 series of first-person shooters set in a sort of post-apocalyptic 1950s version of Earth. And I think that at the time of that franchise's demise, a lot of people attributed blame on the Resistance PlayStation Vita title, Resistance Burning Skies, for not really bringing home the bacon, not really being a huge commercial success. But when you actually look through the history of that franchise, there is sort of like a very clear like rise and then kind of decline as a result of some decisions that were made over the course of the franchise that weren't, I wouldn't even call them bad decisions. They were decisions that the people making the Resistance franchise couldn't have sort of foreseen the consequences of. And eventually those consequences caught up with the franchise, and it was no longer viable to kind of continue working on it.
Hmm. Is there anyone that sticks out to you, Eilert?
I'd say one of our most interesting stories is probably 6 Days in Fallujah for me. Mostly because it was the controversy surrounding it, the fact that Marines, the people who were actually participating in the war, really wanted to see this game made, and the fact that it actually was canceled due to controversy from civilians. It's really interesting to see how that worked out, and I really like the way we approached that video. So I'd say 6 Days in Fallujah is probably one of my favorite stories.
Interesting. Excellent. Is there let's go through, how do you guys as a team, and obviously Steve is your narrator, and everybody, Steve has got the voice that is amazing, like an amazing narrator's voice, just blows my mind. Let's just go through, how do you guys decide on what stories to tell? Do you just throw a dart at the wall and say, "Hey, what happened to Donkey Kong? Let's go do a story on Donkey Kong," or is it more one of you has an interest or a passion about a certain game or a certain series, and that's the direction you go?
So, I mean, I think I would just start off by saying that, in generally, we tend to sort of restrict ourselves towards a kind of specific time frame in terms of the games that we cover, at least right now. We're kind of interested in that sort of nebulous period between what you would call retro games and, I would say, sort of modern games that have come out in the past few years. So the sort of like GameCube, PS2, Xbox 360, PS3 era. And you brought up the example of Donkey Kong. I don't know that that would be necessarily a franchise we would cover, because, as I'm sure Eilert will get more into, we tend to focus more exclusively on games where a lot of time has passed since you've had much activity with them.
Correct. Yeah, it's we tend to focus more on the seventh generation of console games right now, and I think that's where we kind of find our sweet spot of franchises and games where they've aged, but not too much that they have been necessarily forgotten. And
Sure.
I think that's what that's what our sweet spot really is right now.
So how do you guys decide on what game to cut? Like your next project, for instance, how do you guys come to a consensus? Hey, like guys, let's do this game.
Well, I think for Alexander, it's we both approach a franchise. We talk about it, and it really comes down to is it interesting enough to cover, and does Alexander really want to do the effort of playing through an entire franchise, such as Crisis. I mean, that's one of our next videos, Rise and Fall of Crisis, and it's up to Alexander if he thinks that franchise is worth playing through.
Yeah,
Now-
I mean, to be sorry, I just want to say quickly that just because a franchise is not something that I'm interested in doesn't remove it from the docket entirely. We kind of have other people who we work with who are more experienced in certain other franchises or genres than I am, and we'll definitely kind of work with them to sort of produce projects if it's not something that I'm immensely experienced in or interested in.
Sure. And I forgot to mention, sorry, at the beginning of the show. So Alexander, everybody, is the writer for the show. Eilert is the director. He puts together all the videos. To my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, there, guys. But that's how it works. And then Steve is the narrator who wasn't able to join us today. Alexander, do you play through? Eilert just mentioned you play through an entire franchise before writing about it, or during the writing process.
I mean, I do. I definitely try to do as much as I can. In the case of the Resistance franchise, I went back to and sort of revisited certain games I had previously played as much as was necessary. And yeah, with Crisis right now, which we're working on and which people can eventually expect to hear us talk about in the future, I'm playing through all of that as well. And it's something we're totally committed to with every video that we do. And I can say that it's going to be interesting in the future because there's a couple of franchises on the docket that we're looking at tackling after this, such as Lost Planet, for example, where in that franchise, one of the sort of like most acclaimed game in the series was a title called X Troopers, which was only released in Japan. And that's something that we're going to have to kind of like resolve when we get to it. But I'm absolutely interested in sort of like, going through and playing as much of the franchise as possible, even if it's titles that people didn't previously enjoy or experience, because I'm interested in getting a grasp on the full narrative of the series. Yeah.
Very cool. What has been the most challenging story for you guys to tell so far?
Man, that's a good one. I mean, that's really for you, Alexander, to answer, because you're the one writing the scripts. I mean, one of my biggest struggles is I think we have Steve on the
Yeah, we do.
Perfect.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, welcome, Steve.
Thank you, David.
So happy you could make it. Sorry if you had to jump through hoops to get here, but we're glad you got here.
No problem at all. My pleasure.
So we'll just continue from the top here. We were just
Sure.
talking about the most challenging story for you guys to tell, and then we'll come back and have you introduce yourself, Steve.
Okay, great.
Yeah, correct. As I was saying, one of my biggest struggles as an editor is sometimes the fact that with canceled games, there really isn't much footage to work with. So in the case of 6 Days in Fallujah, for example, I've only had like 2 or 3 minutes of video that I had to make a video of 12 minutes in runtime out of. So for me, those are
So
the
this
biggest
is the guy in the
challenges
Netherlands that I do the work for,
as an editor.
and that's his writer.
Are you on a phone call?
I'm on. They're going to get back to me
Okay,
in a
go
minute.
ahead. Sorry, continue, Eilert.
So no, that's where my story really ends. For me, that is one of the biggest challenges. But I cannot speak for Alexander in terms of the investigation that's going on.
Yeah, Alexander, how about you? What has been the biggest story or challenging story to tell? Most challenging story for you to tell so far?
To be honest, I feel like this question would almost be better if you were to ask me maybe a year from now, because while I've had a lot of experience working with gamers, I don't know that I quite have had the legacy with them yet to have a really, really good story. I will say there are definitely a couple of instances where I've been playing through this game and it's been like, there's a pain point here that is killing me, and I just need to get through this. Admittedly, don't have a particular. I wouldn't be playing it if I didn't have to write this video, but well, I guess I just have to power through it. I'll say more generally, I have sometimes struggled in kind of like the sort of denouement in our videos where I talk about sort of like what happened to the franchise, why it was canceled, because that's sort of the prickly part of the script. That's the part where you want to be careful that you don't go overboard, or that you don't paint or depict at people as being monsters or stupid. Like I said earlier, I want things to be given sort of a fair shake, and for us to kind of be able to look back more fairly on franchises after the dust has settled. So that part of writing the script, at the very least, has always been, I'd say, the most challenging for me.
Interesting. Let's bring Steve in here. Steve, why don't you take a minute to just Steve? You're the narrator for the show, for all the series. What have you found to be the most interesting story that you've had the opportunity to narrate so far?
Well, the biggest challenge, before I answer that question,
Sure.
is not making mistakes and trying to read some of the names of some of the characters or the fictitious places, because if I do, oh boy, there's hell to pay.
Oh yeah, I can
But
imagine.
but that's really kind of tough to say, because every one of these has been such a treat to work on, because I've been working with Alert for a few years back in the GamerSpawn days. And always found it, he has really interesting ideas, and he seems to be an amazing director. And now with the writing team we have now with Alex, it's just every day is like a new challenge. So kind of to piggyback on what Alex just said about ask me in a year, I kind of have to say the same thing, I think.
Sure. And Steve, how did you get started with gamers? What's your backstory there?
Well, the truth is, I'm a composer. I was writing music for television and found myself in a bit of a creative lull. And people had always thought I should be in radio, and I never really gave it much attention. And then I felt myself kind of bored, and I said, "Well, I have a microphone. Let me see if I can do this." And it took me about 6 months of stumbling around, and slowly but surely things started to open up. And the guys from GamerSpawn contacted me, and I began to do a little bit of work and a little bit more work. And then somebody from EA contacted me because they found me on their site, and I did some work for Dice. And so it's just been a snowball effect, and it's been really it's making the music kind of take a back seat, which is fine
Sure.
with me because I'm really having a good time.
Yeah, I can. So what did you do for Dice, if you don't mind me asking?
I did a couple of the Battlefield Play for Free promos, and
Okay.
also something for I think it was Battlefield 3. They had some kind of a special commemorative limited edition game that they wanted me to do a couple of lines for, and they sent me a really cool gift boxed special edition disc of the game, which is really sweet. So
Oh, that is
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So before you did music, you were a composer before I did music. Were you much of a gamer, or has this kind of got you into gaming?
Well, I still have my Atari 2600 with Combat somewhere.
Well, there you go.
No, I have, but not to the extent that most people that really appreciate what these guys put into the channel. Because, I mean, it's easy enough for a person to kind of read a script and try to make it sound, interesting. But really, between these two guys, that's really the cream of the crop. And I learn more every day just by working with them. And I've gotten some other friends now involved in some of the video games that I've been, narrating for these guys, and it's opening up their eyes to new games they probably would have never even considered playing before. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So your guys' new Rise and Fall series, and let's start with Eiler on this question, and then Alexander, you can chime in as well. The Rise and Fall series, I know that in 2018, you guys mentioned on your channel that that's kind of the focus where you want to go next. Is there, as you've seen games, hit their peak and then collapse and fall and kind of just fizzle out, disappear, is there a common theme that you see as you go through these? Or is every story just completely different?
Well, it really depends on the game. Absolutely. I think there are parallels to be drawn. sort of with like how Crisis compares to Resistance, where you have the first game does its own thing, then the second one tries to cater towards a large audience, and in the process kind of loses its identity. And then the third game tries to cater towards the demographic of the first game again. So there are definitely parallels to be drawn and references to be made. But I think with every game comes a unique story, and I think Alexander does a really good job of telling that story, diving really into what the problems of a certain franchise were and why that caused it to have fallen down.
Yeah, unfortunately, thinking back to all the projects that I've written about, there really isn't like that much of a through line. Eiler kind of said it right. In both Crisis and in Resistance, there is this commonality of both franchises tried to do this thing that was, not necessarily appealing too much to the mainstream, and then they went a little bit more mainstream, and then that kind of had repercussions later on down the line. But even there are kind of like differences between the two franchises, which I'll get to more in sort of the Crisis video. So yeah, right now, right off the top of my head, is every franchise kind of has its own story.
Sure. So just talking Crisis, I just thought this Crisis at its time was known for pushing the boundaries of graphics. I mean, I remember the physics engine. You could stack up all those barrels and then knock it down. And it would crash computers.
Yeah.
As you go through and tell these stories, do you find that the more successful games are always pushing the limits of graphics, or is it, and that's maybe the most important thing to some of these games, or is it the stories and the storytelling that the games have?
I'd say it's a combination of both, but I think one of the most important factors is absolutely gameplay. But as you start looking towards towards the later games, especially in the FPS genre, you see this trend of multiplayer becoming a key aspect to a franchise's survival. And certain franchises that have not utilized their multiplayer gameplay, such as Resistance, for example, or Crisis, were really left behind as games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, took the crown, became more popular.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. In all the franchises that we've discussed, definitely the ones that kind of had sort of the longest tail before kind of shuttering are the ones that had a strong sort of emphasis on gameplay, not necessarily so much on story. Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, like the one franchise that we've talked about that where the story is like really a massive, major component of it, and that franchise has kind of fizzled out is Metal Gear. Metal Gear, and that franchise had a very, very strange, very unusual story in terms of how that franchise kind of petered out. So yeah, I guess I would say that ultimately the ones that last the most are the ones that have a sort of solid sort of gameplay concept built around them. And in terms of story, I don't necessarily think that that's as much of a factor as what
I mean, if a game is fun to play, it's fun to play, right? I mean, and that's probably why you probably hit the nail on the head there. Speaking, can we just stay on Metal Gear Solid real quick before we get to our last question here? With the latest Metal Gear Solid, I really enjoyed. Do you see it making a comeback at all? Do you see that, or do you see it just kind of going away again?
Eiler, what do you think?
Hey, I have to admit, I'm not really that much of a Metal Gear gamer, so I think this question is more for you.
Yeah, well, so as kind of the Metal Gear guy, I mean, like the way I see it, the only way that Metal Gear Solid can come back again is if they kind of get another Hideo Kojima. And what I mean by that is another auteur-esque kind of person in the industry, a big name. Like, and I'm not saying that this would happen because he would not be interested in it, but like a Ken Levine, for example, I mean, like, hey, we want you to work on our next Metal Gear Solid game. But I just don't think that that's going to happen because I think that Konami has burned so many bridges at this point that it's unlikely to occur. I do think that this isn't the end of the Metal Gear Solid saga. I think that there will be more in the future, but I think that a Metal Gear Solid game that has sort of like the heart of 1 through 5 is probably a little ways off. I think that we're going to have to see significant sort of changes in Konami and in its sort of stance towards the franchise to change if we're ever going to want to get a Metal Gear game like that again.
How long before you guys get into telling the stories of the current generation games? So I'm just thinking off the top of my head, Xbox One has a game, Rise, Son of Rome, that already there's no announcement for a second one. Maybe eventually there is a second one, but as of right now, it seems like that series and franchise is done. How long do you guys think till you guys start talking current generation?
Well, we have definitely thought about the idea of taking on these one-off franchises or one-off games, such as Rise, Son of Rome, or MAG, Massive Action Game on the PlayStation 3, where there was really only one game and they've never really gotten a sequel. But in terms of the current generation, it really depends. I think we have to look 5 years or 10 years into the future and see where the franchise in question has landed, and if it has been continued at all. So that's really the key factor for us.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, one of the projects that we have discussed doing is Silent Hills, which is technically part of this console generation a little bit earlier on. Although that game is a very kind of strange, nebulous, canceled game. I don't think that a lot of people typically sort of talk about it in the same way that they talk about some of the other games from this generation. Yeah, I think it's all a matter of what project we're currently working on. If there is in fact a opportunity to talk about the current console generation, if it relates to this current console generation, and time. There will be a time eventually where I think talking about Rise, Son of Rome will make more sense than I think it does now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Steve, let's go to you. So our podcast, we talk a lot about we're a positive gaming podcast, so we talk a lot about balancing your life and gaming. And every couple of weeks we get a question. How do you guys balance your life and gaming? How do you guys balance podcasting and gaming? How do you balance all these projects you're working on gaming? So I'd like to get your input on that, Steve. How do you balance all of the work you have and then your hobbies, whether that be gaming or whatnot? How do you balance life?
Well, I first balance life by just appreciating the abundance that I have in my life of all things, good and bad, but mostly good. Starting with family, of course. But I've being an only child, I found many times throughout my life I spend way more time, in the zone than I probably should. And I occasionally get the knock on the door saying, "Hey, come have something to eat," or "It's time for this or time for that." So I do struggle when I get into that zone of something that I truly enjoy. But just getting back to prioritizing the things that are really important, family, health, all that good stuff. But so far, I've been able to make it work.
Yeah, no, and if I mean, you have quite a impressive resume from. I mean, you've been a composer. Now you're doing narrating. You've done it for major video game companies. You're doing it for an amazing YouTube channel that is taking off here. What is your advice to people who want to get into creating, whether that be they want to create video games, they want to create video game content, podcasts, YouTube channels, anything like that? What is your advice that you have for them?
Consistency. I mean, as I said early on in our discussion here, when I got into this, I said I have a microphone. I'm going to try to use it. And for 6 months, nothing happened. I just kept spinning my wheels. But in hindsight, there was a lot happening. I was learning how to do this. It's not just a matter of talking into a microphone. There's a little bit more to it than that. But just just stick with what you enjoy. If you really enjoy doing it, then don't stop. And at the end of the day, if it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah.
So,
No, great advice. Alexander, how about you? How do you balance life and gaming?
It's been difficult the past several months. There is a lot of work in my life that I've had to deal with outside of my sort of work at GVMERS. And honestly, and I realize this isn't a great answer for somebody looking for a kind of like you know sort of global directive that they can apply to their daily lives. But day by day, I kind of figure out what works best for me, and I sort of like try to do my best. And it's worked out for me for the past 6 months or so that I've had a lot of work going on. But we'll see where I am 2 weeks from now.
Excellent. Eilert, last but not least, so your next project is Crisis.
Yes, correct.
That is super exciting. Is there, is there a release date scheduled that you could give people, or is it just when it happens, it happens?
We do not have a release date just yet, but we are working very hard on it, and we'll probably have it released within this month. I hope within March. So.
Perfect. And if people would like to support the channel, support the show, where can they find you guys? Any social media, Discord, stuff like that?
You can find us on youtube.com/gamers. That's gamers with a V instead of an A. And if you'd like to show your support to the channel directly, you can also support us on Patreon, which is also patreon.com/gamers with a V instead of an A.
That's it. They are Eilert, Steve, and Alexander from Gamers, the amazing, awesome history YouTube channel. I could not recommend them more. Please go check them out. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
We are back, everybody.
There we go. I
There
didn't
we
press
go.
the button. I am so sorry. We were just sitting here just gabbing.
Yeah, go check them out. That is the Gamers. I think they are creating such high quality content on YouTube. They're kind of historians of gaming and game developers and the stories behind games that we've not seen. Definitely go check them out. A great bunch of guys, incredibly talented,
Superb quality. Like
Yeah.
this is History Channel. I would say better than History Channel. This is network quality stuff they produce, and it's super fascinating.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the next portion of our show. This portion of the show is brought to you by Mixer.com. Come and join us every Friday live over at Mixer.com/XoneBros. I also stream every day, Monday through Friday.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
You want to hear a lot of dad jokes? Go to this guy's morning streams.
Dad Joke Central, baby. Dad Joke Central. Also, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who has been donating to us during the stream today for our 200th episode. Really appreciate the support, everybody. We have such an awesome community. It really is a community of positive gamers. We are incredibly grateful for all of your support and look forward to the next 200 episodes. With that, let's go to our questions.
Yeah.
These questions are given to us by you, the listener, over on Facebook every Friday. First question comes from Jason Simpson. Jason says, so I bought Witcher 3 a while back. I want to play it, but I play for an hour and get overwhelmed. Do you have any suggestions for people who want to play a game in a genre they usually don't to enjoy them more? So let's start with Jordan.
Yeah.
Let's address his specific game that he's struggling to get into, that he wants to get into, Witcher 3. What is your suggestion for? I can say I have had a similar frustration that him. I don't. It's not an hour for me. It's probably like 3 or 4 hours in, and I'm like, okay, the thought of going back is tedious, but I want to go back. You know what I mean? It's not that it's a bad game. It's just it's overwhelming. That's maybe a better way. So what is some advice you have to someone like Jason?
You just got to power through it. No, well, I mean, just
see,
so there. I mean, there's a lot.
Hold on.
There's a lot in the game, right? So what I would suggest is I would focus on one quest line, right?
Yeah.
And then don't. I mean, I know it's hard. You can pick up other quests and that's fine, but focus on one quest line. Like, make that be your goal. Because when I do side quests, whether it be in Witcher or World of Warcraft or whatever, right? You pick a quest and you do it, right? Because you're going to get distracted, and you can pick up other quests along the way. That's fine, but do not start those until you finish one, right? You don't want to have like 10 quests halfway through, right? Because then you're just never gonna. It's going to be hard to keep up. You're going to forget what quest is what. So I would suggest, whether it be main story or side quest, just pick a quest, go through it to its completion, and then do another one, right?
Or stop and then do it the next day.
Yeah,
Because those quests are long.
Yeah, I know they are. But as for, I mean,
Because he only does it an hour at a
Yeah.
time. It looks like he does it at an hour at a time, which with that game is very hard to do because the game is so rich and heavy. It's like it's chocolate cake.
It's
rich and
hard.
heavy.
You get distracted.
So,
you're
there's a huge chocolate cake in front of you.
Mhm.
One piece tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you eat a whole bunch of that cake, you're gonna feel sick.
Could make you sick. Yeah.
It's hard because you're gonna get distracted, and you're gonna be like, oh, what's on that mountain and stuff like that. So like I said, you can pick up as many quests as you want, but don't start them. Just focus one quest line or focus one activity, and then do that, and then when you're done with it, move on to the next one. That's how I did it, right? And I focused the main quest all the way through, and then I went back and focused some certain side quests along the way.
I think that's good advice because I think that's what gets me overwhelmed. Is I think there's so much that I have to do just in this town or just in this area that it's like you have so many options that you're frozen.
And the thing is you can beat the game and still play it. I mean, it's not one of those games where it's like you're done. You can never play again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it ends and it has an ending, right? But you can
go back,
go back, right?
So that's.
But yeah, well, and something with The Witcher. I mean, there's got to be a point where you just power through it because it's.
So that's great advice for The Witcher. Let's go to Mr. McSpicy for game genres that you want to get into, that you struggle to get into, or that maybe a game genre that you used to enjoy that you don't enjoy anymore. What is some advice you have to get back into the?
I kind of want to just mention about The Witcher.
Sure.
That's a game where if you think about completion, that's when it starts to get heavy and drive you crazy.
True.
I would suggest don't think about it in that context. Think about immersing yourself in this world. Think of it as a relaxation. Think of just enjoying the world that is The Witcher. And the game changes itself. If you're sitting there trying to just power through it and complete it, you'll look like Jordan did after 3 months of that game. His eyes were sunken in. It looked like he was listening to Radiohead for several weeks.
But I did beat it. Beat it, got it done, checked it off the list. That's one you don't want hanging on your shoulders.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's true.
That one weighs you
You
down.
don't want that
That's
one.
a monkey on your back.
Yeah.
You got to get off.
I'm just saying, just enjoy the game, and this goes for all games. For example, Call of Duty. As soon as I stopped caring about my KD, as soon as I stopped caring about my stats, the game for me became far more enjoyable. Same with Overwatch. I stopped caring about the things that I used to care about, and the game, and then I just see it as it is. It's a game. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be, fun. And so I would say immerse it. That's actually a good example is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yeah. I just tried to immerse myself in the game. I didn't try to power through it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just get enriched by the world that is Kingdom Come.
I think that's a nice way to say that. It's enriching. You want to be enriched by the game and just experience it for what it is.
Yeah. The idea of a backlog. I know we all have backlogs. I know we want to experience all games. But at the same time, dial it back and you'll notice it becomes far more enjoyable and less heavy. And I think that'll help you play the games that are so heavy, such as Witcher 3 or genres that you want to get into
that you've not really been into in the past. Or
just enjoy it for what it is. It's a game and it should be fun, and don't push yourself too hard.
Yeah.
It's for relaxation. It's for fun. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Great question, Jason, a.k.a. Innova. Thank you so much for the question. Rune Trelvik writes in, and he talks about Ubisoft's new education mode. Mm-hmm. So their new education mode, Jordan, maybe you could just summarize it real quick.
You basically just tour Egypt, and they tell you how things are mummified.
Yes, exactly. It's literally an education mode of Egypt. Anyways, he wants to know what our thoughts are on Ubisoft censoring old statues, paintings, and whatnot, everything that may offend someone. He says, yes, we are talking about penises and so on. That might be in the statues.
Sorry, I laughed. So that wasn't even the proper term, but I still have to laugh. It's a rule.
How do we feel about this education mode in Ubisoft, censoring, blurring them out? Do you like it, not like it? Do you think there should be an alternative? Jordan, how about you?
You can't be afraid of history. You know what I mean? It's there and it happened, right? We learn about history so we don't repeat the same mistakes twice,
sure.
right?
Well, especially in art,
but
these are artistic statues.
That was the time, that's what they did. Artistic statues, paintings, mummification. I mean, that's kind of gruesome if you think about it, but that was their culture and that was what they did, right? So, I mean, if you really think about it, censoring one's culture, isn't that kind of offensive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. it's hard to get into these because everybody's got their different opinion. But in my opinion, you can't be afraid of history, right? It happened. You
I would
learn
say
about it. That's just it's history, right? We learn it.
As far as the artistic side of things, I would say as long as there's an option to make it not censored.
Yeah.
I think that's a good alternative.
Because I mean, if you think for like elementary schools, right? Of course, you don't want if your kids seeing.
I can only imagine
stuff,
a rated M game
Yeah.
for the 5th graders.
You know what
They're
I mean?
like,
Yeah, so,
oh my gosh.
I see the point here. That's why my answer is kind of bland. Just you
Yeah.
can't be afraid of history because how is she
Yeah.
going to learn?
Yeah.
If you lie about history, then you don't learn anything.
Just because I get it. This is a rated M game.
But the education mode is it's not completely separate, but it is there's no blood or gore, and you know what I mean. It's more travel the
strictly
world
the education
and
side.
straight learn about ancient Egypt.
I would say let us choose
Yeah.
whether or
I
not.
agree. I agree with
Whether
that.
or not. Yeah.
Give us freedom, Ubisoft.
I agree with that.
Give us freedom.
Personally, so for instance, I have a little girl. Personally, I would not censor that for her because I think it is historical.
Mhm.
But I do like the option of having if you are someone that wants to
I
censor
think,
it,
yeah.
absolutely.
I think that's a good.
But yeah,
Give the power to us. The
Power to
freedom
people.
choose, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great question though, Rune, and I'm really excited. Speaking of that education mode in video games, I'm really excited to see more games do stuff like that. And I think, I mean, you think there's already games. Medal of Honor really was created to educate kids about World War II. They had cutscenes in between, so I'm excited. It's not this isn't anything new, but I like that it's still being attempted and good stuff. Kate Doherty writes in and wants to know.
Hello, Kate.
Hello, Kate. Please, she's coming at us from Scotland.
Oh,
all right.
Kate Doherty says, please discuss tips for player unknown battlegrounds. I keep getting killed.
Okay.
Let's start. Can I start actually?
Yeah, go for it.
My tip in this is I played with Jono, who is fantastic at this game.
Yeah.
Our brother Jono. He is very aggressive. So when I started in, I would be very aggressive with him and I would get killed. I have learned that sometimes for me, it's better for me to hide, and sometimes it is better for me to be aggressive. I'm good at this game.
What a good answer.
Yeah. No. And I'll tell you when I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive when there's two people in a firefight. I go in and just kill them. When it's one-on-one, I hide and let them come to me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not so good with the guns. Like Jono is excellent with those guns and super aggressive going in. That's not my play style. So that works for me. And you really feel pressured sometimes, I think, to be that aggressive type. At least I did when I was playing with someone that's really good at this game.
Yeah.
But to be good at this game, I mean, to take it to the next level, you probably have to be aggressive.
Yeah,
but to enjoy it, you really don't. You can sit back. You can be more tactical and strategic and patient about when you move in and when you don't. Especially if you're not as good at shooting like myself. Mr. McSpicy, how about you? Any tips?
Yeah.
On player unknown.
I would say I have 2 tips. If you're just starting out, okay, so it depends on what you're struggling with. If you're struggling with game knowledge, such as what weapons do what, which weapons are better, the way the backpack system, the armor system, just whatever it is. If you're struggling with that, when you get in the plane and they launch you out on the map, go as far away as you can, because you'll stay alive and you'll learn the stuff.
Yeah.
So that way you can get the gear and you can have time to look at it. Once you get past that initial stage, you're going to have to learn the technical side of this game, which means combat. And so I would say do that at first, but if you never engage, you're never going to learn.
Amen.
So once you understand the guns, such as what they are, what they can do, what guns you like, what you prefer, your play style, then I would say get aggressive. You're never going. The good people are aggressive because they know how to do what in certain situations. They know where to go, and aggressiveness gets you better and better at the technical side of things, making your shots and stuff like that. So I would say it's a ramp up. Start low, go far away, survive enough to know what's going on, learn the map. That'll get you alive long enough to understand, but then put the gas on and learn how to fight.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree with that. Jordan, how about you?
It's okay to die in this game. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, the point of it is
there are 98 other people that die and one winner.
Before we go to Jordan, Ronan in chat writes in and says, "Just get good." Tip of the day. Just get good. Jordan, how about you?
So I try to do a little mixture of both, right? Before I go into a firefight, I think to myself, can I win this fight? Right? I kind of have that mentality because if they got, because you can see in battle royale, like if they're wearing armor and stuff like that, if they got good stuff or not, right? So I don't know. I just try and think like, okay, before I go in, can I win this fight? If I feel that I can, I'll go in and be aggressive. If not, I'll kind of hold back and see what happens. So
yeah.
But I have heard, I think, that's what I do. That's all I got. Yeah.
Excellent question. Hopefully that helps, Kate. Let us know if any of those tips help. Hopefully they do. If they don't, well, then just yell at us. Next, Joe Folly writes in, a.k.a. Devout Cannon. Devout says, just found out this is your 200th episode. That's impressive. I'd be interested in hearing of some of your ups, but also some of your struggles along the way, building up the podcast and community over the years. Let's start at the end of the table. Mr. McSpicy, just give us either something that stands out to you over the last 200 episodes, and then maybe one thing good, and then maybe something that has been a struggle that people might not know about, or
okay,
a little behind, a peek behind the curtain, a peek behind the curtain.
I mean, there's a lot of hard work that goes on. Like I think people, I don't know. It looks. I like to hope that we give the impression that this is easy. Yeah. That's the goal. If it looks easy, then that means as far as my job, because I do a lot of the graphic stuff, I do a lot of the branding, but at the same time I do a lot of the hardware stuff. And I'm telling you, my heart drops when, like, what was it? Was it last week?
Oh yeah, the computer dropped.
The computer just gave up the ghost. Yeah. And when that happens 10 minutes before a show, and we're being featured.
And we're featured. And so you can't delay. You have to go on right at that time.
The stress level is redonkulous. There's a lot of work that goes into this. I mean, even just sounding the way that we sound.
Yeah.
I hope that it sounds clear, crisp and clear. And I mean, I lay awake at night and I go, how can I make things better?
Yeah.
There is a lot of work that goes into this. At the same time, the reward of creating what we've created. I mean, our community is superb.
Yeah.
I love the guys. I'm generally a lurker in my own community chat on Discord. I pop in, I read everything, but I'll pop in and say things occasionally, but I like to let you guys, the community, just chat and become friends with each other and enjoy each other's company and game it up together. And I feel as though when I join, chats and even on Mixer and on Twitch that know me, it kind of takes away from other people a little bit. And I don't, because then it's like, oh my gosh, whatever. I don't like that. I just like.
You just like being a part of the community.
Yeah. And so what we've created with the community is just so awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And on top of that, being able to just take a moment during the week, several hours during the week, to just sit down with you guys and chat about video games is like the highlight of my week.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Amen.
So, 2 goods, 1 bad. It's a lot of hard work.
It really is.
And the goal is to make it not look like a lot of hard work.
Yeah, hopefully we do that. And if we do, then I think we've done our job, right?
Yeah.
Jordan, how about you? What is something that stands out to you that you've enjoyed over 200 episodes, and maybe then a little bit, share something that's a little bit that people might not know about behind the curtains?
So probably good things, right? I honestly the community plays and the streams that we do together.
Community plays are so much fun.
Because the Halo one that we had was awesome.
Memories.
When we were playing Sea of Thieves, when it was us 3 and who joined us? Somewhat anonymous. That was so much fun when we sang the song and he jumped off the plane. That was just the streams and the community plays they're such a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. So a bad thing. You remember like episode 3 when we already started at like 11.
Man, yeah.
And we had to restart like 7 times.
That's the hardware stuff. That's the stuff that just
And that was way back on our old set. And like at a certain point, because we had to repeat stuff over and over again, at a certain point, it's just not exciting anymore.
I think that episode, that was whatever it was, that episode, we had messed up
so many times.
Like 5 times. And it's like, we started, I think, at 1
No, yeah, it was already late because I was on my like late.
You listen to the show and we're like, hey
guys,
good to be here.
Yeah.
There's like big announcements that we've already said like 4 times, so you're not as excited anymore, and it's just
super cool.
So what happened is for those of you who haven't listened to those early ones, we were over webcam
Yeah, we were
at the
Skyping
time.
together.
So we were
yeah.
Skyping.
I had a
and
Pokemon poster. in the
Skype
back.
would crash. The computers would crash. The recording would crash. Every time something would crash, and we'd have to start over. And it seriously took us like 6 hours to do a 1 hour stream
Yeah, it was
because we had to redo it. I think we redid it 3 times.
Oh my god.
And
It
we
felt
and,
more
and,
than
and
that.
at one point, I think we were like 40 minutes in and had to restart.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Well, and then I mean, there's like we have had so many hardware scares. So one of our famous guests, one of our most famous guests is Larry Herb,
Yeah, Major Nelson.
Major Nelson, that was on our show the week before that interview.
Oh yeah.
We were doing the podcast. We were 40 minutes in, and then David's computer that was recording it
Restart.
ran Windows updates and just shut down
for like an hour.
It was a good. Me and Jordan were like, when was the last time you updated? It took like an hour. We had to sit there for an hour, and the stream went down and everything. And we were, I mean, those are the things that make us learn.
Well, and it was
Yeah.
kind of like, can you imagine?
Because
if
now
Larry
like
was on with
everyone
us?
that's watching, I have this here now. This is a backup recorder just in case that happens again. Because when that happened, we didn't have any backups.
We had no backup. Yeah.
So,
But it did pull up on Adobe. Remember?
yes, because Adobe is
Because
amazing.
Adobe is smart.
Audition is
Yeah.
amazing. It
Audition.
copied the. Oh man, that was. But we sat there for 40 minutes and we were thinking, what if this happened during
Major
his
Nelson.
interview?
Nelson,
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Scary.
one of my favorite things about doing the podcast is we've had so many awesome experiences that we just wouldn't have had otherwise. I mean, being able to talk to Major Nelson, having Gareth Coker on the show
That was he was,
was another awesome experience. Getting to go to E3 this
Oh.
next time, doing a meetup in Scotland with a bunch of people. Those kinds of experiences are just experiences that, let's say the podcast ends tomorrow. Those are life story type of experiences and just really cool opportunities. Something a little bit behind the scenes about the Major Nelson interview. For those of you that have not seen the Major Nelson interview, I believe it's episode, I want to say it's 53 or 58. I think it's 58. Go check out. Anyways, the title of it is Major Nelson. So just go look at that interview. It's a good time.
I gotta also say we got to talk to him before and after the show. He is such
coolest
a
guy,
cool
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, he talked to us for about an hour and a half total. But here's a little peek behind the curtains to the Major Nelson interview. We're set up. We're ready to go. We're super nervous. It's our first interview, and
When
with
it's Major Nelson.
It's with Major Nelson, right?
Yeah,
I used to watch Major's Minute.
Yeah. And we jump in to it. We're sitting there. We go up. He pops in. Hey guys, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And he says, just so you guys know, I have a meeting in 15 minutes, so I've got about 15 minutes to run, and we're like, okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you're a busy guy.
We'll
You're
do this in 15
Microsoft.
minutes, and we go through. The 15-minute mark comes, and I say, all right, Major Nelson, well, we'll let you go. And he goes, you know what, guys? My meeting just canceled. Take all the time you need.
Yeah.
And looking back, what he was doing, he didn't know us from Adam.
yeah.
Someone had recommended our podcast to him or something, so he didn't know. We could have been weirdos. It was
That's
the
such a
phone call.
smart move.
It was
Yeah.
the phone call, the blind date. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta go. An emergency happened.
Maybe he
Uh,
legitimately did have a meeting.
And we
Right?
ended
You
up
don't know.
spending the next hour with him, just talking to him, and he was such a down to earth person, really cool guy. Really made us feel good, gave us a compliment, and that's I think that's kind of a turning point when we started taking the show to the next level. After that, like really started
relaxed a little bit more.
really started to try to improve every week and go from there because that was just such an awesome experience.
And such a. I mean, he is such a nice guy. Just
really was,
we were nobodies. I mean, we were specks on his radar, and
Yeah.
he's treated us so well. So I have to say, he's just a cool guy.
Yeah,
was really nice, yeah.
really, really cool.
Maybe
guy.
we'll get to see him at E3.
E3.
Walk
yes,
by him.
We will.
I'm gonna give him a
shoulders.
high five and a
Yeah, high
hug
five.
if he'll let
Hey!
me. Then he'll be like, ugh.
And Dan's like, what? You okay? You guys are.
I
You
talked
guys
to you
are
once.
crazy. Yeah. And he said he'd come back on our show. We just have to, he gave us his personal email, the whole shot. I mean, was that kind of down to earth, salt of the earth type of guy. Really,
Very nice.
really awesome. We just haven't reached out to him because we don't know what we talked to him about now. Like,
Hey man,
Still kind of nerve.
what are you doing over the
How-
weekend?
how's life? What? Yeah. What
I watch
movie-
you
what movie
every
you
week
seen
on
lately?
this week on Xbox.
Yeah. Hey, I liked your outfit you had there last week. That was a good one.
You have pretty hair.
Well, have you heard? I think because I listen to his podcast. He does it. He
Yeah.
does his own
Mhm,
podcast,
mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Major Nelson Radio. I think he told this story on his podcast, but Phil Spencer was on, and they were. Oh no, Phil Spencer told the story. He was on the podcast,
Sure.
and Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, right?
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
The big cheese, right? he was talking to someone or something like that, and he mentioned that he worked for Microsoft, and the fan or whoever was like, "Oh, do you get to work with Major Nelson?"
And it's Phil
And it was,
Spencer.
yeah, it's Phil Spencer, right? I think it was
so
like 2 or
funny.
3 podcasts ago on Major Nelson, but he told that story. And I just thought that was funny. Just goes to show you how everybody knows Major Nelson. He really
Yeah,
is
but
kind
then
of the face
even
of
for instance, like
Xbox.
our interview today, getting to meet the gamers,
Yeah.
the gamers, they're going to be movers and shakers in the industry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Getting to talk to people like that, getting to talk to someone like Deltius Gaming, just getting to meet and network with really creative, talented people has been something that's awesome. A struggle is time. It is time consuming. A lot of people think that you just come and you sit down on Friday and talk about games for 3 hours. You're working for hours every single day on the show, on the podcast, on the community, trying to figure out new ways to engage with people, stuff like that. So it's time. Like time.
Yeah.
People don't realize the time that it takes to create a quality podcast.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Especially with the people with our positive gaming, an image, I guess it attracts the people that I would hang out with IRL. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's just the people in our community are so cool.
Such a good time. Great question, Devout. Thank you so much for writing that in. Last but not least, Ken Corey writes in and says, "I'm getting a foot of snow here." He says, "I still went to work, but I wanted to stay home." But that got him thinking, what is your go-to game or game genre when you have a quote-unquote snow day? Jordan, let's start with you. You're not able to go outside. You're stuck inside for the day. What is your go-to genre or game?
Well, right now it's Fortnite.
Yeah, I guess it just
I know,
depends
that's
on what week it is.
Yeah, it really changes. But right now, like if it were to snow tomorrow, which it's supposed to, but
In air quotations. For those of you, this is radio. This is
air quotations.
Our air quotations he put up there.
Well, I just it's because I prepare for the snow because they're our weathermen. I mean, no, they're really good, right? They do their job great, but they're building up this it's like a scary movie. They're like, dude, it's coming. It's gonna be here
Well,
tomorrow.
that happened today.
And you're like, oh.
They're like
here we
yesterday.
go.
They're like
Snowpocalypse.
there's gonna be 12
Yeah,
inches.
you're like, and so you're just prepared. Then you get up and the sun's out, and you're like,
and birds are singing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
and all the snow's melted because it was so warm.
I mean, but you don't care because you're happy because there's not a bunch of snow. But anyway, so if it were to snow hardcore tomorrow, right after our Forza play, I'd jump right onto Fortnite.
So Fortnite. Mr. McSpicy, how about you?
Aren't weathermen just guessing?
They really
anyways?
are. It really it's an educated guess.
It's an educated guess. I mean,
Based
there's a
on-
lot of schooling and
based
a lot
on
of science that goes into
based
it.
on
right?
satellite images.
It's an exact science that takes a lot of
Hot
guessing.
air, cold air. When they meet,
It's
they
an
do
exact
things.
science of guessing.
Yeah. I'm with Jordan. I mean, it's whatever. I would say let's pretend it's a snow day. And
Free day. You
it's
get a free day.
It's dumped and I can't go anywhere. All the businesses are closed.
Snow's up to your door. It's just
I would say because there are times when I want to sit on my PC and just game.
Yeah.
But there's just something aggressive about the PC because you're not as comfortable. You're
at
on
a
your
desk.
mouse keyboard.
It's your
You're s-
mission. It's your
it's
mission
tense.
station.
You're just ready to just.
Station control.
But on a snow day, it's a day off.
Sit
I'm
back
wearing-
with your feet up.
I'm wearing my special socks that are a lot more
yeah.
fuzzier.
I like those. Yeah.
You know,
got
I'm
the
wearing
grips on the bottom.
and I'm wearing my Cookie Monster pants that have the really big front opening so you can pee real easy. You know what what I mean? It's real comfortable. I'm not. No one's coming to see me. You know, I'm gonna choose to play on my Xbox. So I would say I would choose an Xbox next to a fire with a good hot chocolate.
Oh, I like that.
You know, and some I don't know, maybe some cheese and crackers.
Okay. Wow,
Very
you're
nice.
like
Very
with some
nice.
classical music playing in the background.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like
like
that.
this
I
is
see.
my day off.
I
I'm
see what
going to
you're doing.
relax, and then I'm going to play probably Hearthstone. Wait, that's on the PC. Okay, I do like
Overwatch,
Hearthstone.
perhaps.
No, because that's too aggressive. I would
Okay.
say Fortnite, but I would also
Maybe the Save
a
the World
campaign.
mode.
Say-
Dial it
a
back a bit.
campaign because I don't want to get aggressive
Yeah,
at
you
this point.
want to relax.
I don't want to compete with others.
I play Minecraft. Let me tell you,
Hey,
there's
yeah,
not
Create your
a
own-
more
create your own
relaxing
snow,
game
yeah.
than Minecraft.
Even the
You
music
just
is
sit back,
soothing.
and I actually have the music turned off. So,
Oh yeah.
but Minecraft is the game that I would go to on snow day, or a racing game. I think racing games are super low key, one race at a time. It's not like, where do I put this next attribute on my character? What mission do I have next that's going to make this character
Yeah.
have more strong magic and a better defense buff? I don't know. Racing or Minecraft. That's where I put my token.
Well, racing's a good one when you're not online because you're focusing.
Yeah.
I can see that one. I don't know, just something that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just relax, kick it up.
Anyways, 200 episodes. That does us for the day. A huge thank you to the gamers. Go check them out over at youtube.com/gaming. Great bunch of guys. High quality content. Don't forget, guys. PGTV. That's right. 24-hour.
PGTV.
24-hour game stream. This is just the beginning. It's in its infancy. Right now, it's game trailers. It's 3,000 game trailers and adding every week to that. Celebrating our love for gaming, the joy that is gaming. Go follow our channel, mixer.com/positive gaming or twitch.tv/positive gaming TV. You can check us out there. It's a good time. Mr. McSpicy, what will you be up to and where can people find you?
Fortnite, for sure. I love that game. I want to get John Wick. That's my whole goal.
Oh, yeah.
So I want that skin. So I have 60 days to do it. I got to put in the time. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. McSpicy. My gamer tag on Xbox Live is Mr. McSpicy. MCSPICEY. Spicy.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Jordan, how about you? What will you go to? Where can people find you?
Jordan the Man XOB everywhere on anything you can find, and probably Fortnite.
Boom, baby.
I'll be playing with you.
Yeah.
I am XoneBros
squad.
everywhere. I will be playing some Monster Hunter. I will be playing some Minecraft as per usual, and I'll probably jump into something else. Go over. Don't forget, guys, we have an Instagram. Instagram XoneBros. Just search for it. We have daily positive gaming quotes. I think you'll like it. It's a good time. We're pushing for positive gaming there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this week. We have an awesome. This community is awesome. This podcast is a ton of fun. We couldn't do it without you guys. 200 episodes. Let's go to 201. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out and celebrating with us on this 200th episode. A good time. Thought that went really well. Pretty successful there. We're going to do a raid now. I'm going to host someone on the channel, and then as soon as it'll pop up here, we'll go down for 1 second, host, the pop right back up, and you just need to type in this chat. We will type positive gaming. and we'll do that. And let's do this. Ready in 3, 2, 1. See you guys.